All right, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today we have a very special special guest. Lincoln Ueda is with us. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you.
Good.
Yes.
Yes. You just are. I got to just start this off with saying we had scheduled this
Right.
for a little while ago.
Yes.
I don't remember when the Combi Jam was. What date was that? Because it was
early January, right?
Contest was on the 18th
of January.
January.
So we had scheduled this to come on the show on January 19th. It was the day after the Combi, I believe.
19th or 20th.
20th?
The contest was on a Saturday, right?
I
yes.
think. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
20th.
So it was a Sunday.
Yeah.
It was Sunday and then a Monday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Move the mic a little closer if you
Okay.
don't mind. Yeah.
Here you go.
Yes. Yeah. You go. Yeah. So we had scheduled it for the next day,
Right.
and you had a collision with Pat Ngoho, which we had talked about. We had talked about with Pat. Pat was on the show.
Yep.
And I mean, that had to have been one of the gnarliest. I don't know. I'm just assuming that was one of the gnarliest collisions you've experienced.
I think so. That was the hardest one, I think, from all the years skating.
Yeah.
Because I was not expecting that. That was a hard one.
I mean, do you remember anything? Because you got knocked out.
I did. I'm actually happy that I don't remember anything.
Oh, yeah.
Because it could have, I don't know. I just remember dropping it. No, I remember talking to Christian, and then I dropped in, carved. I was like, I'm gonna get a lot of speed, so I wanted to do an air, like square, carve the square, go to the round, do an air, and then I remember carving it, looking up, and then I saw Pat.
Oh.
And that was it.
Looked up and seeing
Wait,
Pat?
it was a collision in the air?
No, he was coming. Well, by the way, I saw Pat the other day or today.
Yeah.
I talked to him. He explained to me how that, he thinks it, it was.
Right.
The whole time I thought Pat dropped in with me, but he went to carve the round and then to go into the square. So I was like, whoa, he was probably, he's going to take the wide, whatever line.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I was coming the other way. So when I saw him, he was up on the water, like the waterfall right there.
Okay.
And then I was going up. So I looked up, and then I was like, I'm just going to take the left. Thinking okay, he's going to go to the right. Yeah. But we actually end up going the same way.
No.
Because the
both hit
typical
left, the
typical way, and this isn't you could skate a pool any way you want, but the Combi, the typical way, a lot of people drop in from the little area right there. They go into the square to get speed for the circle part of it.
Right.
I mean, I was there for a couple sessions, and I was
Yeah.
watching everybody. It's my first time there. This was before the contest. So I would kind of see the flow. And what struck me, and I talked about it with Pat too, is you guys are so all on the same page when it comes to you guys are practicing together. I mean, there was multiple days of hanging out with each other and skating and practicing and just having a great time. And if I felt like you guys were all in sync. And I'm like, how could that happen where you guys don't see each other and this happen?
Because Pat, ever since I start skating that bowl, the Combi bowl, right? My spot was always been in that, by the hip, and then I'll go straight into the carve the corner. That was always, I was always dropped in there since the start, the beginning. But if I have to skate that where everybody is, drop in where, chances are I'm not gonna get around. That's my whole thing.
So you typically drop in
always on that, the square is right here on the left,
right?
Hip is right here. I always drop in right here.
Is that for a speed thing, or what is that? Why? A personal preference.
Personal preference, because I know, like right there.
This is typically where you drop.
Yeah, where
it.
I drop
so
always.
Standing. People that don't know,
Yeah.
behind you and to the left, our left, your right.
That's the shallow
end,
end, yes.
where everybody typically drops
Yeah.
in, and everybody you're dropping into the square part of it.
Right.
So
So Pat was right, like I was I was talking to Christian, and Pat was right by him, like right on the hip right there. But Pat, he is regular footer.
right, you're goofy.
So we had our backs to each other, so we didn't see like when we dropped in.
So he's dropping in the shallow.
Dropping into the shallow, and they carved the pocket right there, the shallow end, backside, right?
Uh-huh.
And then he was coming down towards the square, like this way.
Right.
And I just dropped in here, and then they carved the main corner, the square.
Okay.
Like just pumping through, and then I was gonna go, that's the line actually, not a fit. Yeah, I carved it right there, and then
Right.
I met with him right on like that.
That little part right there.
Yeah, not there, like the island right there. Like he was coming, like you can just like go like right there. Like that, right there.
Right there.
Yeah, no, before.
Oh, before.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's
So you
where we hit like
Oh, you guys
right
hit
there.
right here.
Yes.
Oh.
So he was going down and I was going up. Cause he said to me like I don't know where afterwards I know I got on a stretcher or whatever,
Right.
and then I asked him like where did we end up, like I don't know, like it's like, oh well, I was on in the square, like far. I'm like, oh,
And
so
you were in the circle.
No, I was in the square.
You're still in the you
still in the square.
Really?
I think
I feel like if
I don't
you're coming
know.
this way and you maybe you got bounced back
Maybe.
into the square.
It's like I have no
Recollection.
nothing.
Got so
Did you-
crazy, dude.
When did you come to where you're just on the ground, or were you getting taken up already?
I remember someone, I think was Pete from Vans.
Mhm.
Like I was laying there, like they were just taking me out, and then I remember like a glimpse of him, and that was it. And then all I remember, like my body really hot, and then I was inside of already a CT scan.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I was like, whoa, this feels weird, like, and then I was like, and then I looked at it like there was like, like nurses, and then I'm like, oh my God. Dude.
So you fully regained consciousness and figured out where you were while you were in the CT machine?
Yeah, because I felt it. It
Wow.
felt like when they do a CT, do they inject you?
I've
with
never
something?
heard. I've never had one.
No, they don't do that.
They don't do it
They don't
because
need to.
I felt it like my body, like inside,
Huh.
like hot. I'm like
Sometimes they'll do that.
to a contrast, like a
Yeah. They might put like dye into you. I think, to see contrast.
that's what it was.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, I don't know. That's wild. But you're
Yeah.
like, it's so like claustrophobic in there.
Yes.
And you're just surrounded.
And I'm like, what's going on? And I look out, like it was like this whole. I was like, whoa,
It's like he didn't get prepped before. Like you're just like in there, and you're like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
I've never been knocked out, so I don't know the sensation of like not knowing and then waking up and
Same.
and not knowing. Like I couldn't even imagine, But all in all, and that's a funny thing too, is like I feel like, I mean, it probably happened so fast that nobody yelled into the bowl like, hey, because I think
Usually,
And it's-
when we hear it, someone is just
Right.
like, yeah.
in the way that I saw everything work too, and Pat explained it also, was like, somebody could be in the square part that have had bailed,
Yeah.
and somebody then drops in,
Right.
and the line and the places to be
Yes.
to avoid people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you can, if you drop in, where the island is, so people can wait by the island,
Right.
And then you
Yeah.
go, and then they
Yeah.
go, okay, well then
You wait behind it. Like they go by, and then you just
just
walk
go
up.
up.
Yeah, go up.
When I was watching the practice and everything, you guys were so good at it. It seemed very nonchalant.
Yeah.
It seems very like, oh, I'm just waiting there, like kicking it. Okay, there goes.
Yeah.
And you just walk up. Me, I'd be like, oh my God, where am I?
It's good to go.
I'd be like, oh, get me out of here.
I feel like because it was such a small, like we didn't have much time to practice. It was 30 minutes.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh.
For maybe 20 people.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they mixed it, the masters and legends.
Uh-huh.
So we all wanted to get a run before, I mean, it goes by quick, 30 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
Is
But
the
that's
etiquette?
probably.
Is the etiquette pretty like dialed down with you guys? Like, all right, you guys go in order, or is it kind of like whoever's?
Oh no, whoever's
Yeah, I
they
was gonna
see a
say.
window. I mean, of course, when it's practice, like doing like before prior, right? Like we kind of know, like, okay, this person went like one, like, and then there's another 5 or 6, and it's a session.
Yeah.
You go that way, and then of course some people is just like go. You're like, okay, great, go.
Right.
Who does that? And who does that particularly? Call them out.
But we know how that's gonna go.
Sure.
Certain people that are that way, and you're fine. Like, it's a session. Some people that never skated there too, like, the young skaters, and then that's how it goes.
Right.
But I feel like that particular time that we had like 30 minutes, and then crowd was getting in, and then you're like, man, I gotta get warmed up, and then it doesn't matter if you're a master or a legend or whoever it is, like, it's a contest. Like,
Right.
you're a skater, you're like, I wanted to get my time in, so I'm okay with this, whatever practice, and I'm good. So we all went for it. So
And that you guys were the first ones up.
I think the girls.
Oh, they
no,
were?
wait, or maybe the pros were skating already.
Okay.
Can't remember like
Okay,
who
okay.
was, but like we were in the in between, like
Right.
so.
It was a fun event. I mean,
Yes.
from what I'm sorry you missed the rest of it, but it was a great event. It was really fun.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
And it's just a bummer that happened to you as well, because it was the Combi's last
I know.
hurrah.
Yes.
And you were there again practicing weeks beforehand and hanging out with everybody, but this was the last
Yeah.
event, which it was rad that Christian Hosoi won also,
Right.
because he had never won one
Right.
of those two.
Yeah.
So it all kind of worked out, but it just I'm sorry that
Yeah,
that
thank you.
happened.
But I'm happy that I had my son there with me and my wife, and to me, like, my son, he's been there in my wife's, when she was pregnant.
Oh wow.
And then also when he was little, we used to put up like headphones on him, like, because it was so loud.
Yeah.
For him to see it, like, when he went there, he was so young, he didn't know like who it was, whatever. Like, now that he knows like whoever it is, like, he looks at videos, and I explain to him, and then he's like, and then he was part of it. So that was really cool to see it. Like,
Yeah, because your son
Yeah.
rips, by the way.
Dude.
He's really good.
Thank you.
His name is
Raphae.
Raphae.
Yeah, Raphae.
Yeah, Raphae's great.
Yeah,
man.
he,
How old is he?
Incredible.
How old?
Yeah, he's 18 now.
18.
Oh, okay.
It must be a
Sick.
trip
Yes.
to watch your kid
Yeah.
Do you
go
like,
and follow in the footsteps of you, and then now he's like, I mean, look at this. Like, he has a bright future ahead of him, man.
Oh,
Look at
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Kid, dude, that's so rad.
It must be rad
Yes.
to watch this.
It's,
Not only that, but to have him follow in your footsteps.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Some
Like-
kids don't want anything to do with what dad's doing.
Yeah,
you know?
but the
Okay.
thing is, that I think the best part of it is that he was never forced to do anything. He just
Picked it up.
naturally he picked it up. Like, it was like, yeah, like, all of a sudden, you look at him skating, like, oh, you can do that. That's
Dude,
cool.
Were you guys skating a lot together, and when he first started, or was he like, I want to be on my own, do my own?
Oh
thing?
no, we skated together. A
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
Well, because how old was he when he first started?
He first dropped in. I think he started in when he was 4.
Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he first dropped in when?
Like, he dropped in when Vans, we used to go to Vans the block where
Yeah.
the Combi is.
Yeah.
He dropped in a mini ramp there.
the one in the back.
The one on the
Yeah,
back.
yeah. Okay. Wow.
So that's how long he's been skating.
I love that, man. I
Yeah.
love that he's got the passion for it, and he's got the talent. I must
Yeah.
must come from his dad.
Like,
Good genes.
It's cool to now, like, it's funny because, like, I'm 50 now, right? So I've seen, like, I started to skate in 87, 86.
Same.
And then watching all, like, the progression and all the people, like, all the skaters. And then at one point you not stop, but like the new things, like the what's going on nowadays, like skaters
Right.
and brands that are like popular, whatever, like trending. Like, I don't know anything about that. And so he fills me in with that, like, which is really, I like it. I mean, I learned so much from him.
Right.
Like, it's the other way around now. Like, I'm like, he like on like Instagram, like send me clips. I'm like, dude, look at this guy. I was like, oh, like this is like he lives in SF now. He's going to college there.
Oh wow.
But like he was here recently, and we'll sit down, and he's like, Dad, have you watched this video or this part? And it's like, no. It's like, okay, you gotta sit down, watch it, with that.
Right.
So that's really cool. I love it.
Cool.
Does he ever say, "Hey, Dad, I want to get some free product from this company. Do you know anybody down there?"
No, he never did.
Never did that.
Never,
Okay.
never.
I would do that all day long. If I'm my dad, I'd be like, "Yo,
like
get some independent trucks."
Yeah,
you
in
know?
fact, like someone asked me the other day, like how about like how your son did he get hooked up with sponsorship and stuff like that? I'm like, well, I posted a clip of him on Insta, whatever. He was just skating like at the park, and then Sinclair actually texted me.
Of course,
Mike, he was like, hey, does your son get like boards from anyone? I was like, nope. Why? It's like, do you mind if I send him boards? Like, no.
Do you
Like,
mind?
I was like, no. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then it's like, how about shoes? I'm like, nope. I've been buying shoes from him. It is very expensive. Like, he goes through like shoes all the time, like every week, whatever. It's like, I'm gonna send him some shoes. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Sinclair's
so
a man. He's definitely a great scout, man. He knows how to scout him. That's for sure.
I'm also surprised that you didn't like try to get free I mean, listen, you're Lincoln Ueda. You know what I mean? Like, you're not some, grifter
Yeah.
coming off the street. Like,
Yeah.
everybody in the industry.
yeah.
Like, hey, my kid skates. He loves these shoes. Do you mind? Like, anybody in the industry would hook you up.
Right. But I feel like, as I was, like when I was, getting in the scene, right? In especially here, like in the States, like I just showed up and did whatever I wanted to do. I wanted to be, like live the dream, like in California, whatever. And then everything happened, like without me going like, hey, I was just on the right place at the right time, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You let the skateboarding speak for itself, and then meeting the right
Yeah,
people.
yeah. I feel like that way it'll happen. Like if you, wanted to do this, and then like, I don't know. I feel like you don't like it's less of planning of it,
Right.
And
I
then
can respect that. It's more of an
letting it
organic
happen.
way.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the way you did it. You want to let him do it the
Yeah,
same way.
you just let him
But
do it.
he doesn't
was
have
just
to
skating.
know that you got free shoes. You're like, hey, here's some Nikes. Here's some, here's
Yeah.
some shoes.
It's like him making those relationships himself.
Yes.
Well, he
Yeah.
would eventually, but as a
Yeah.
little kid growing up, and he sends it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
hear
I'm
it,
just
yeah.
saying, Lincoln. I would take the shortcut, and I would try to get free stuff.
Does
But
he-
it all worked out. So he's got
worked out.
sponsors now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
everything he rides, like all the companies, like Monster, for an example, he got on like maybe 2 years ago. Wow. And
Shout
and
out to
it
Monster.
was
Yeah.
like, I got a message from Joey.
Joey Shigeo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, I'll sit down. We'll talk about like what's out there. And then it's like all of a sudden he's like, yeah, we've been watching your kid and all that. And I was like, cool. So
How old is he again? I'm
he's
sorry.
18.
18.
Yeah.
Do you
So he must have been on Monster Army before.
No.
No, straight
No,
to Monster.
straight to
I love
Monster,
that.
yeah.
do you have that like conversation with your son about trying to make it as a skateboarder? You said he's going to college.
Yeah.
That's a lot to do. Is like be a pro skater and try to be a pro skater
Yeah.
and go to college.
Yeah. Yes, we talked a lot. Like, even like from the start. Like, I used to live up in Orange County, and then I moved to North County, San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
But while we were looking for a house down there, my main thing for him was a good like a school district. So the whole time was like, you got to go to school. You got to go to school. You got, like have a plan.
Right.
I know nowadays it's just so much harder, right? But and then so he always been with that, that mentality of like going to school and skate, going to school and skate. I know a lot of the people, like a lot of my friends, or I mean our friends, they haven't even finished like whatever.
It's
You
that
know?
time, that age where you start to
Yeah.
travel and things happen is
Yeah.
like high school and going out. A lot
Yeah.
of people didn't even graduate high school.
Graduate,
that I
yeah.
know, you
So
know?
so I was like, well, graduate high school, and then
Right.
but he always liked it though, going
Okay.
to school.
Oh, well,
Like,
that's good.
But at one point, maybe 3 years or 4 years ago, like he was gonna do homeschool, like
Were
in high
you
school,
were
like
gonna-
he was
you
gonna.
were, you were going to be the teacher?
No. Okay. we looked like the school. We went to the school, and then like close to that, like the program, and we looked at it, and then at the last minute, he was like, "You know what, Dad? I think I like being in the school. I like being around other people. I like
the social aspect of it.
Yes, that's a fully like it's like I like to be outside of skateboarding. I know I can skateboard like by that time I was working at the skate park in Vista, CATF, and then he would have a time to go and like whenever I had the key, so he says, I'll just go skate there, So
Did this come up when he was like 9th or 10th grade?
I think yes,
Right.
around that time, yeah.
Like right going into high school. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember that too. And my mom was like, "Look, you've already come this far.
Yeah.
Like just finish. Like
Yeah.
it's like not that. It's like right there.
Yeah.
So it's
So-
like, at least he had it.
And he
Made the
has-
decision on his
No,
own.
he did. Because at one point it was like, okay, yeah, you're gonna start traveling, and then that's when he got on Munster because he was gonna start traveling and all that, and
Okay.
skating and go to a contest, whatever, like the shows, the demos that they do around. And I was like, all right, fine. And then
Yeah.
he managed to go to school, get whatever, finish high school with a 4 point something, like
Wow.
yay. And they went, had the opportunity, like whatever, apply for whatever college down here, like 3 or 4. But he was like,
okay.
I'm gonna move to SF. I'm like, okay.
It's possible to do both, but
Yeah.
yeah, I could see like, you just got to carve out the schedule.
Right.
That's going to be
Right.
ideal for you.
There's
Yeah.
a bunch of like Walker Ryan did
Right.
like there's a bunch of skaters that
Yeah.
have done that. I personally could never have done
Yeah.
that. I wasn't a school person, to be honest. I didn't like school. But I mean, fuck, if you could do both, that's
Right.
great.
Maybe in the both.
When did you drop out?
Huh?
You dropped out?
No, dubs. I graduated, bro.
about to
I
say.
graduated. I just
Yeah.
didn't continue on. I went to community
the
college.
schooling
here.
journey. Yes.
Went to community college in Santa Monica.
Right.
Couldn't find parking. I'd leave. One of those things. And then
Right.
eventually, I just was like, I'm done. I can't. Skating was a priority.
Right.
But that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I'm
That's
happy
super
for
dope.
him.
That's awesome.
Like,
Who's he sponsored by the way?
he rides for Toy.
Okay.
Toy.
Nike's got a.
Nike
Nike's got a.
him, yeah.
Sinclair's got him on
Yes,
the
he
Nike
got him
program.
Nike, Monster.
Okay.
I think Ace Trucks.
Oh, there you
Nice.
go.
Yeah, Jessup.
Nice.
Like,
Got a
He's
good
got
little,
some,
good
yeah.
little
Some good
roster.
little sponsors there.
It's
No
so
doubt.
different also from now. It's interesting because you do have the kid who is coming up in skateboarding,
Yeah.
and it's because it's so different now, right?
It
when
is.
we were coming up,
Big time.
it's a whole different ball game out there,
it was like different.
right?
Like, I started skating in 1986. I got my skateboard as a Christmas present from 96 to 97.
Okay.
1986 to 1987.
Yep.
Back then, I didn't know anything about
This is in Brazil.
this is in Brazil.
You grew up in
I grew up in Guarulhos. It's close. Yeah, it's like close to Sao Paulo.
Okay.
It's close to the international airport. It's actually the international airport is in Guarulhos. There, I think, right close to it.
Oh yeah. That's what I know you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Guarulhos.
Yeah, GRU, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when I grew up. I grew up skating.
It is really close, man.
you know.
There it is.
Yeah.
Right there.
Look at that.
Guarulhos.
Guarulhos.
And right there. Okay.
Yeah. But as I started, like, I think it started as you guys, like as a friend that had a skateboard.
Mhm.
I don't know. What was it? I think a friend had a skateboard, and then I start borrowing it, like, skating, pushing around. It's like, oh, this is cool,
Yeah.
My cousin actually had, but I think before my cousin actually, I didn't know that was a skateboard. Actual skateboard. It was like a small little, like a fiber one,
Like a plastic board.
plastic board.
Yeah.
Like this guy showed me, like the neighbor, one of my neighbor, and it's like, oh cool. So I rode it around, like try to stand on it, and then that was it. And then all of a sudden in '87, a friend of like my cousin had it, and then it was with a friend, and Dad was like, nah, too that's dangerous. You can't do it, dude. No. But at one point my cousin used to work with my dad, And he would leave his board outside his house, and then I would just go sneak it and then just grab it and, you know, like try to skate. And
but did you know, like, tricks were even a thing at that point? Yeah, I was going to say at that point you just kind of
It's
like
a toy
ride
at that
around.
point.
Yeah.
no, it was a toy. And I remember,
Still is a toy. By the way.
still was a toy, wooden toy. I remember like this guy, this gentleman, he had a shop, and then I would go there and ask him to cut it, a deck.
Oh,
Like
really?
cut the deck, like just on a plywood. And then I remember soaking in and, like, you know, like the tail part, and then leaving it out like bent somewhere, trying to make the concave.
You were
or
really
something
trying to
like
make
that.
a board out of
Yes, yes.
plywood.
And then out of a plywood, and then I took out like took it apart like the not inlines, like the skates,
roller skates?
the trucks,
Okay.
and
Damn,
put them
you were
on.
really OG right there.
Yeah.
That was, I think it's 86. Yeah,
Yeah.
86, 87 for us.
But
Because
back then, okay, yes.
that was Brazil. Everything that happened here in the past, like, we didn't know. I didn't know.
Even back then, let me ask you a question. Like, because I think things were happening over here.
Yeah.
And, you know, to get stuff in Europe, they're a year or two behind. You know, they
Right.
got to get the magazines out there. They got to get the boards out there. How was it in Brazil at that time? Was it years behind, or was it like
I think
a
it was-
little bit
It might have been 5, 6 years behind.
Wow.
Yeah,
At that time.
Yeah,
at that
in
time.
the 80s.
Yeah.
So you were,
I think it was because
damn.
I still remember going to let's say like a Home Depot place, and then buying just like a sandpaper, whatever,
Yeah.
cutting it and making design, and then glue it, like put, you know, those things, like, because we didn't know anything about.
Okay.
I don't know
Is it
how
like,
the
like
you know.
this kind of deal?
Well, that's your,
That actually
Came after.
Because that thing,
after.
Yeah.
yeah, but I was gonna say, was that the kind of grip tape you're talking about? You would kind of just put it together.
Oh, that was like self-adhesive, like, yeah, but no, the ones that kind of like that, you cut it and then make a pattern, whatever. That's how I
okay.
did it.
Right.
You know.
And like Kelly said, are you like, you're not knowing anything about skateboarding. I mean, here you are trying to make a board out of plywood.
Right,
and
right.
like roller skates. There must have been some type of other kids skating, or you're seeing other skateboards around.
Some friends.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember going to a skate shop. They call it a skate shop, and then I looking at the boards, and like, you know, even the smell was different. I was like, man, this is cool.
Yeah,
You know. Then I think they didn't. There was no bearings. It was like there's a ball bearings.
Ball bearings.
Ball bearings.
yeah.
Yes. And that was like, and then I wanted to get a board, and I was like, man, like, but then after, I don't know, maybe 6 months after, like, this guy, after we were just skating on the street, down the street, whatever, like downhill slides, like
Okay.
with the gloves, like, you know, like trying to do all these tricks, whatever. They opened up a skate park, not a skate park, a bowl, like a capsule bowl by my house, not by my house, but like in the neighborhood, like.
Okay. Like an actual
maybe
pool
a
slash
pool,
bowl.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
That's when they had a shop, which, like, it actually, the sticker on that board is Polato.
Palato.
Yeah, it was a surf shop,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
and that place had a capsule bowl. So I was like, oh, let's go there, like, do it for the opening. So I saw a bunch of people skating there, like just dropping in, doing airs, and
So
like
sick.
all like we're all like in like on the bleachers, like watching it. Like, we didn't know anything.
That was
about
your
it.
first time seeing.
That was the first time seeing
were
the
in
people
awe.
skate, you know. And from there on, I kind of start paying attention, like, wow, this works, you know. Like I the board that I had, it was like I had to share with my younger brother. So I was like, okay. So we got like as a raffle, we got a deck. So we built another skateboard. So I had a skateboard. My younger brother had a skateboard. So we start going to that park, like buying, like the helmets were like a hockey helmets. We could find whatever we could find.
Sure.
And the knee pads, whatever, it was just a cushioning thing. The sleeve, you put them on.
Right.
So from there on, we started just faking and just going down the bowl and just like fakie, you know,
Okay.
that way.
And I take it there's other people there kind of
Yes,
ripping,
yes,
and
like-
so you're learning.
Learning, like,
Yeah.
I learned on that capsule bowl. I learned how to drop in, like, kick turns and fakie to
Okay.
fakie kick turn. Like,
Are you seeing anyone that's like incredibly good at that point? Or are you just seeing everyone kind of at the same level?
At that point, you're probably like,
there was
everybody's
like
good.
we used to
holy
call like Brazil had a semi-professional skateboarders. which back then it was like this guy Sergio Fortunato, we call Negao. There was like a Mauro Mureta, Edison David. It was like all these guys. They were already like they could do airs, they could do inverts, and so those are the guys that I like. George Brotatore, like he was a really good. Like remember he used to drop in. He could carve because it was a capsule, right? Like a half pipe with a not like square corners, like rounded. So I remember he's just boneless like corners, like grinds, frontside grinds and stuff. So that was really cool. That was actually, I got inspired by. Like, I was like, man, this is close to my house. Like, I go to school right there. So it's like behind the school actually. My high school or whatever before high school.
Middle school, junior.
Middle, yeah. So I was able to have that.
Okay.
So that's where I grew. Then I start paying attention. Like the owner of the shop had a video, like a VHS tape of Christian
Hosoi
skating the bowl, like that capsule bowl. Him and Alvaro, who lives here, I think in Venice or Porque, like another Brazilian, and then Miki Alba.
Okay. Wow.
And I think Eddie Radigi. Yes,
sick.
the three.
Wow.
A footage of them skating that bowl. I was like, oh wow, this is cool.
Was that the first piece of skateboard footage that you've seen?
Yes.
Damn, that's amazing.
Yeah. Which at that point, like I start skating, and then Dad actually was back then like a mechanic, like a shop, had a mechanic. He was just fixing cars. So he was able to trade for a job he did because it was very expensive, like a Panasonic VHS tape. I mean, cam. It was a cam recorder. Yeah. Camcorder.
Like
Yeah. So he was able. Then when I started skating, he was able to film all the sessions, like me dropping in. Like all my friends, like everybody.
Did skating seem to come easy for you? Did it seem like it was like a little of a challenge?
It wasn't a challenge. It was just
Came natural in that sense.
Yeah. Like looking at footage like that. So I remember we had that camera, and then we put like that because there was no the VHS record of whatever player. It was expensive in Brazil. I don't know if here it was expensive.
Sure, that at a point in time it was.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we couldn't have two to record it, like so we put the camera in front of the TV that was playing, and then record. So I have those tapes still.
No way.
These
That's
days.
rad.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
So I could analyze like, how did they do it?
You want to watch it.
Yeah, and then like the magazines will come in, and like we'll get friends that were able to travel to the States, and or they knew a little bit more of skateboarding.
Okay.
So they will have like a copy of a whatever black and white with no sound, like from contests. And then it was like all the POW videos, bandies, like Animal Chin, and like that came. So that's how I actually learned how to skate, like the tricks. And I remember looking at stale fishes. I'm like, it was a sequence, I think, of Tony or someone, like I think it was Tony. I was like, how does he do it? Like, and then you try to like picture frame to frame, and then that's how
I feel like you were in the same boat as like even the guys out here. They talk about like seeing something in a magazine and trying to piece it together in their mind. Like, how does this? Yeah. Or even just a still photo. Like, how did he get there? Like, okay, I got to do this.
Style, Like, until this, like I have like a memory. Like this guy did a crooked cop. I'm like, oh my god, that looks cool. I mean, he still skates to these days, and I'm like, I told him like, hey, I learned that trick looking at the photo.
No way.
Because your knee was down, like close to the board, so that's how I back then.
And you just kept progressing, I take it, and just skating that bowl, or did other bowls pop up around your area?
That was, there was 88.
88, okay.
88. And then there was a vert ramp. There was outside of Sao Paulo, Guarulhos, close to Guarulhos, like 30 minutes. There was a skate park that opened up, like a vert. And there was
vert ramp, like concrete or
concrete?
Okay,
yeah. Concrete vert ramp.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they do in the other countries.
Yeah. Like we had a few around Sao Paulo that I'll go skate. My dad will take me, like over the weekends. And then there was like a contest here and there, like amateur contests, until we knew about, like after all the Brazil has a semi-professional whatever competitions, and we heard about Munster, Germany,
Okay.
89. That a bunch of us, all like a Brazilian team, whatever you wanted to call it back then. I don't know how many people it was, maybe 15th or maybe more people, between street skaters, freestyle, and vert.
Okay.
And then we went out there. So that was my first appearance, or like looking at like international skaters. Like that's like international in a sense of at a competition.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
because before if we go back to like 87 or 88, Huck and Lens did a demo in Brazil.
Okay.
I was amateur, and I was invited to be part of it. The 2 days, there was 2 days show and in a competition. I was amateur, but I skated with the semi-pros or pros, and then Huck and Lens were there to do a demo.
Did you skate with them?
No.
Okay.
I didn't get to skate. I just watched it.
Right.
And they killed it.
And you knew Tony Hawk and Lance Mountain at this point, or you
No.
just knew that they
Oh,
were
I
they
knew.
were
Yes.
Americans coming over here and they were like really good.
We knew from videos and magazines.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we knew,
Yeah.
but we didn't. I didn't think the level of skating was that, because we watched, like.
Well, you're late,
Yes,
right? You're getting
yes,
everything late, and
yes.
now here you're seeing the real thing, and
Yes.
they're like light years ahead. You're like,
So
what the
it was
fuck?
it was insane.
I got a lot of skating to
insane.
do. I got a lot of
No doubt.
practicing.
And you didn't speak English at that point, right?
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, I learned English when I moved here.
Oh, you did?
So, yeah.
What was a helpful way for you to learn like English along that path?
Obviously, like hanging out, like living with Americans.
Yep.
Like I was
Movies.
Omar. I watched a lot of TV with the subtitles,
Yeah.
cartoons, and I used to carry a dictionary with me everywhere I went.
So good.
Everywhere.
Lincoln Webster's Ueda.
Yeah,
Okay.
dictionary.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I would look at it like a word, or someone will say something. I'm like, okay. Afterwards, like, oh, that's what's me.
That's what. Okay.
And then like definitely like Omar helped me out a lot, like with him, and like we like the starter point was like I came here. It was first time 96.
Can I ask you a question real
Yes.
quick? You came here in '96.
Yes.
When the late '80s were happening and early '90s, all the skate parks disappeared over
Yep.
here, and street skating became the dominant factor.
Right.
How was it in Brazil? Was it the same thing over there, or was it just kept going? Like,
To me, like, since I was just skating, like it was all vert competitions and stuff. Like, so I started in 87, right? It was all about vert until the 90s.
yeah.
Yes. And then I think here too, it kind of went down,
It went down,
downhill.
yep,
Yes.
yep.
Brazil was the same. Also with
Okay.
the economy in Brazil, like we had a new president, whatever it was, like everything, it was just like no more sponsorships or nothing.
Oh, damn.
So I remember being, because my family was very, still supportive, like support like everything that I do. So he was like, well, you got to find
Gotta find a
some
job.
way. Yeah. So, but he had a shop. So he was like, if you just come work for me, whatever, with me. So I did that. Started in end of 1990. And then in 91, there was nothing much happened in Brazil as far as
In
the contest. In skating for me.
What did it go into street skating as well in Brazil? That's what I'm wondering.
It did. But I didn't follow
You didn't?
that
Okay.
because I had
Oh.
to go to work. I had to find a way of, like,
It's so interesting to me
Yeah.
that things are happening in the States,
Yeah.
and then you say like, and in the '80s you're a couple years behind. But then at the same time, in the early '90s, at the
yes.
same time, it's happening
right.
almost identically
Yep.
to like, vert skating dying and bowls and stuff, and then street skating. It's fascinating to me. Like, I wonder why that happens like that.
I don't know, but I know for me it was like, okay, I can't, I'm not making. I mean, I didn't make much money there.
Okay.
Back then, it was more like it was cool. I mean, it was fun to do it, and I was just doing it.
You're a kid. You're
yeah,
a kid,
I was a kid. I think it was like a 15, 16.
Yeah.
Like went to Germany when I was 15. With my dad.
Okay.
So that from there, like in '91, I kind of met my wife. Well, my girlfriend back then.
Sure.
We're still together.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Here you
So-
are, by the way. This is early.
That was not.
90s.
That was
early
80s.
That's 80s.
80s,
Okay.
88,
Yeah.
89.
Yeah, late 80s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The board.
Yeah.
And you got the Hosoi thing going on, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Because that was a big, like, Christian was a big influence,
yeah.
like, in my skating
100%.
back then. Still to these days. Like, even though, like, well, I like to do airs, whatever. And then,
Big ones.
Yeah.
Just little,
like-
just little airs.
But, like, I think it happened naturally. Like, I didn't think of, like, I'm just going to, I just, looking at him skating, and him and Cab and Lester.
Lester Kasai,
Like,
yeah.
I was like, it must feel good. Like, and then I started getting to that point. It was like, man, this feels great. So, which, like, but like, yeah, 90, 91, then 91, I met my wife. And
Okay.
then we kind of was hanging out. And then I was skating and working. Skating over the weekends. To this place called Prestige Skate Park. It was a half pipe, a cement ramp, but it was like 2 giant quarter pipes. Flat bottom was like a part of the street course,
No.
So we skated there a lot. Like,
Was it a lot of flat, or was it almost perfect? The amount of flat.
no, it
that
was
had?
perfect, but like it was a good vert, like
Okay,
a vert ramp, And then like a few friends that kept skating there. Digo actually kept skating. He kept the vert scene in Brazil. Digo, I don't know if you guys ever heard about Digo. Digo, well, he won Munster like in 1995, I believe.
Okay.
Like back then, that was the huge, like the biggest event I think for back that area right there, international, where everybody from all over the world went.
This is him.
That's Digo. Yes,
That's Digo.
He kept
They're
skating.
that-
Yeah, that's the ramp.
That's the ramp.
Yes,
Dude, it's so
That's
crazy to
prestige.
see a cement ramp like that.
Yeah.
Vert
It
ramp.
looks good though.
Yes,
it
it was
looks really
smooth.
good.
Like there's it's cement. There's a kinks there. The extension was like a setback a little, but like he kept skating and we kept having sessions. Like all friends. Like actually a few street skaters they will skate the vert with us. And then we kept that scene. Like he kept that scene, and then then he moved here. I came here in after 95, and then also Bob Burnquist
Oh.
won Slim City Gym, right in '95. So
good.
I was back then, like in '95, I was starting back up, like a year, like because I took a break, not a break, but like a skating wise, like sponsorship. I didn't care. I mean, I was just like skating whenever I could and driving there, here and there, and it's still fun. To that place.
More of a hobby,
Right,
maybe.
right.
Okay.
And then the scene is starting to get back, pick it up, like from 94, I think, 93, 94
Okay.
on. So and then I was like, man, I think I can still do that. Like, still fun. Like I'm obviously that generation to me, I remember from that 90s, right? Like that I watched all the videos and stuffs and all that stuff. 89 actually, when I saw I saw Huck like again, Tony Mag, Bod Boyle,
Okay.
Kendo, Alan Losey, those guys, like Buck Smith, like so many guys that I just like looked at the videos at the contest. I was lucky, and then like I got into the finals in 3rd place, like out of nowhere. They're like, "Who's this guy?" Like, and I was like, straight into the finals. The top 3 will qualify straight into it, and then I end up 4th, made the finals,
Wow.
and
Impressive.
from there, all the tricks there. I remember like Bad Boy will do nose grinds, front sides on the vert. Like Eric Nash will do fakie tail revert. Like I saw Lee Roth skating. I saw like Adrian Domain skating. Ray Barbie skating vert. Like that, I have all that in the VHS.
Wow. That's cool.
I needed to get on like digital.
it,
Yeah. But like from that era, and then I stopped there, right? And then for 2 years I didn't do much, and then came back, and then I watched. Was it like the H Street videos? Was it before or after?
What
H3
year?
videos are early 90s.
Early 90s. Yeah, that was the last. And then I saw Plembe videos.
Oh god! And it just
I was
jumped.
like-
The progression just jumped.
Well,
Yeah,
you
progression
watch
just
street
jumped.
shit, too.
And then I was looking at it, I'm like, oh my God, what did I miss? So that's how skateboarding like went.
Yeah.
In
Jumped
2
fast.
years, like 2 to 3 years. Like I'm like, oh my God, I'm never gonna be able to do anything.
If you
like
think about like and we talk about it the whole day. Like I talk about it all the time. If you look at like blind video days.
yes. I missed that all.
Okay, so
I
you
think-
missed that, but that was in '91, right?
There you go, yes.
The next year,
Uh-huh.
which they were probably filming it during '91 and '92, the Plan B video came out.
Right.
And the skating in that it was completely different.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's-
Yes and no, but yes.
I mean, dude, the amount of progression that happened in that 1 year was like phenomenal.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, and the boards too. The boards
yeah.
changed
Right.
also.
Right. It did.
It's crazy.
And the shifting of like this, like we're talking about vert going into street skating.
Uh-huh.
Because you're probably like, wait, where's the vert skating? Because there was a little bit in there, right? Like,
Whoa, was it questionable? The Plembe
They had
video?
some
They had
Danny
some-
Way.
They had Danny in Colin.
Yep.
Yeah.
All day.
And then I was like, oh my God, dude.
This is what
Like,
they're doing.
That's what
Right.
they're doing. Like they're doing all that now. Like, so I kept skating, just going, and then went to back to Germany in '94
Okay.
with a bunch, like all my friends was from Brazil. Eugenio, Digo, Gian. Like we shared a car. Like because back then we would travel Europe
Uh-huh.
for a month in a car.
You'd go over there, rent a car.
Yes,
right.
rent a car. Like sometimes you just show up at the airport. We'd all like, or on the plane. You're like, do you wanna rent a car together? Or whatever. Like who are you? Do you have anyone? Like and then we got together and we traveled Europe. Like went.
but
to-
that was like when the summer tour or the contests were all going on, right?
Yes.
So all of them.
All
were-
of them. Yeah, like every weekend or something.
That must have been fun.
It was
looked
fun.
fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Like '94, because I missed. Like I know the Brazil people, all the skaters, they did that because we started in '89, and then until like I went '94. But in between, I went '90 actually. I went back in 1990.
Okay.
And then the years prior to '94, I didn't go, but like they kept doing it.
Yep. Right.
So I did that '94, and '95 we saw Bob and Digo coming to America and then getting sponsored, like getting like coverage, and then it's like,
Did you know Bob beforehand in Brazil?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Bob, I knew Bob. This park that I skated in 89, 90, like 88, 89, 90, yes. He was skating there. He used to come to my house and then actually sleep like at my house.
Really?
Then we would just ride a bicycle to the skate park.
Was Bob on another level back then, or was he just?
He was already.
He was already.
Yeah, you could tell.
You could tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was different.
Because was anyone
Yeah.
skating
Yeah,
switch
that's
really?
a good way to put it.
Was
Yeah.
anyone skating switch
No.
really at that point?
No.
And he was probably doing that.
He was actually doing it a little bit.
Yeah.
But until like that contest in '95, which he almost made it like his half of his run, I think, was switch.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, oh, like there's a chance. The skateboarding is still out there.
Yeah. So did you have dreams then of going to the States? Because a year later, it seems like you were there.
Yes.
You said 95, 96.
That was 95, 96. Like I remember watching it, and then while that was like in 94, 95, Bob and Digo actually was going back and forth to Brazil,
Okay.
and then they will bring product.
Ooh, that's how you make some money.
Yes, And then we'll buy it. They sold whatever. We buy a bunch of stuff, and then they could just make that money and buy the ticket, whatever, to go back to America. To here. So that's when I remember Digo actually gave me a set of wheels. Like, no, dude, don't worry about, it's like all that, And then so he kept doing that, and then all of a sudden I got invited to come to X Games. In
you got invited?
96.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was 96.
How did that transpire? Who invited you?
No, I don't know. The word out was.
Was it just because you were doing contests at the time,
maybe,
or
but I
they
was
were
in
like,
Brazil,
hey,
like
that's what I'm saying.
I think because I skated Slam City. I don't know. I think it was this Slam City Jam. I came in 96, I believe. I don't know, but yes, that was it. 96. I came to Slam City Jam, and the funny thing is, the Slam City Jam, I was there, just like actually Bob picked us up. Because I didn't know any English. I was just the first time in America, North America.
Sure.
And so he actually was with the Deluxe guys. Like Mickey, Reyes, Ruben, those guys. And so they pick us up at the airport and then drove us to the hotel. Like a bunch of friends of us, we were together. And after practice, whatever, like I remember going there. I used to skate this ramp in Brazil. It was actually a roller skate park. And it was a vert ramp there, which was a mini ramp with a vert. When I showed up at the Slam City Jam, the ramp was huge. Like, it was big. Like, I was like, man, how am I going to skate this?
Really?
But I mean, we're like, hey, we spent all this much money to come here.
How much of a difference? Was it 10 feet versus like 14 feet, or was it?
Or a 9 feet to a 13.
Still the same.
It was pretty big, but like after a few sessions, whatever, like a practice we had, this guy came up to my room. Actually, no, a friend of our friends. I was just talking, and someone came to me, and he was like, "Hey, this guy has a magazine. Like he's American. He has a magazine, and you were in the back cover of this Brazilian magazine, and he's looking for you." I'm like, who is it? And then all of a sudden I heard like afterwards, like I knocked on the door at my hotel room, and it was Ruben. And then my English wasn't, because I didn't have any,
Okay. Wait, so you were on the back cover?
I was on the back cover of this Brazilian magazine.
Okay.
And then Ruben had like a Brazilian magazine. It was an ad that I was writing for this company in Brazil, and he was like, "Hey, I have this, and I watched you skate." And maybe he had a talk with Bob or something. Okay. I don't know. And then he was like, "I want you to ride for Spitfire and Thunder."
Ooh.
I'm like,
yes.
Okay.
right.
And
just
then
nodding your head.
He's like, yeah. And then I think Bob came in and translated a few, like, other friends came and talked to us. Hey, yeah, he wants to get you on the floor, get you, products and stuff. It's like, oh, that's cool,
Right.
So from there on, I was riding for Spitfire and Thunder.
How would they get you product? Would they just send it directly to you in Brazil, or would they go through distributors?
No, I was here when I came here.
They'd give you a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
And then you okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Because in 96, the 96, 97, I came and stayed with Bob in San Francisco for like a month. Like I'll go back and forth, so I'll go in and they'll give you a bunch of products and then I'll go and then we go to Thrasher and then I got to meet and skate with Jake and at his ramp, like with a big coping, like a session with them. Just me, him, and Bob, and maybe Max Shaft was there.
Okay.
Skated Max Shaft's ramp. Got a photo in Thrasher.
You must have been like, dude, this is.
I'm like, this is like
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm over the moon right now.
Yeah. So from there, and then I got boards too. Like I think it was real board, whatever, deluxe boards.
Okay.
Like, so I was able to go and then get products, and then I was.
You were duplicating the same thing that Burnquist and them were doing,
yes.
selling boards, get your
Yes.
ticket, go back.
Yep.
You were.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
It. So I was like, cool, I can do that. Get the products, sell it, and then, make the money for the ticket, and
I
stay
love
with
that.
Bob and that's how it kind of went for me at the beginning.
Were you staying the full 3 months? Because as a foreigner, you can't stay over 3 months. It's your visit.
Yeah, I stayed as long as I could.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, I was going back and forth because I was still working with my dad. Like I still helping him with the shop, you know, like the daily whatever, like bills to pay and then buying stuff like products and stuff. So I was doing that. But then
you said the X Games. You got invited.
X Games. I got invited to the X Games. Came here. Rented a friend of mine came with me, Eugenio. He actually was here like a week ago.
Oh, nice.
He came to visit him and his family. Like we still, you know, friends.
Amazing.
We rented we flew into New York, I think, and from there we drove to Rhode Island.
Okay.
Oh, was it the first one they did?
No, I think 95 was the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I came to the next one, like at the 96. So we drove without any English. We rented a car. I remember it was expensive, like, because we were under 25 or 24. Is that
25?
I think it's
25.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of money. And there was a Geo Metro. That was a Geo
You
Metro.
could probably bought one for as much as you
know.
probably
Like
rented one.
it was like, you know, experience. Like we spend this time together. We drove by. He was asleep all the time, and then I'm like with the map, like, you know, the
Thomas guide. You're trying to figure out where to go.
I remember the lady at the place just was like, hey, just do not go. I think in New York, or was it the Bronx? Is that what the area you don't want to go? Like you just avoid it. Just go. You know, just go. So we found like Rhode Island, the X Games. Yeah, we found it, like literally. I'm like, oh, that's a vert ramp. You know, like, oh, there's lights there.
There it is.
Yeah.
Like when you're driving over, you see Vegas. You're like, hey, there it is.
It was like, yeah, it was crazy. Like, I mean, it was an experience. It was fun.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you do in the first X Games? Were you nervous?
It wasn't the first though, right?
No, excuse me.
Your
first.
My
Sorry.
first.
Yeah.
I don't know how to. I don't think I made it a final. Like
okay.
I skated like decent, but
Right.
you know, just the fact that I was there, invited to, you know, like at the time was like the biggest. Still, like, you know, very.
Was it? Sorry to interrupt. Was
Yeah.
it being televised in '96 yet?
I think so.
Yeah.
I remember seeing
When
footage.
did Tony Hawk do? What year was that? The Tony Hawk the 900.
like
Which X Games? It had to have been
That
later.
was 99.
2000,
Yeah,
99.
That was 99.
99.
Yeah.
Okay. So they were broadcasting it by then, by 99.
Yes,
I'm just
yes.
wondering if they were broadcasting it in 96, 97.
I remember seeing. Remember in Welcome to Hell, Jamie Thomas has in the beginning of his part. They have footage of it from like the TV. So
What,
I think the first X Games.
the first X Games.
Yeah, so they must have, but it was
Maybe.
probably on just ESPN when it was small, so it wasn't like
Yeah.
But I'm not positive.
Maybe you could Google that, JC. Maybe.
I was on ESPN in '95.
Oh, it was.
It was
Okay.
95.
95.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Right
here.
Okay. First year, second year.
So that was the start.
So now you're being. I mean, people are seeing you now.
Yes, people are seeing me. Like, you know, I was out there skating, like
Yeah.
whatever. And then there was all the trade shows going on, and I would just show up and skate, and then, well, actually, before that, actually, I was part of it. The trade shows, it happens after, like, Bob was in San Francisco, and then I was going back and forth, and then I was like, oh, Digo was down here in Torrance. And then he had a few sponsors, and he was actually writing for Think back then.
Okay.
Then other companies, I can't remember which was, but he was down in like Torrance with a family of friends. Which I told him I wanted to go to, you know, LA area or San Diego or whatever, the area right here. And then he was like, yeah, just come over and stay with us. I'm like, really? Like, yeah, I have these friends, and, you know, I'm staying with them. Like, you know, it was David and his dad and his brother, Jason, the Williams family. And then I showed up there, and then I was like, oh man, this is kind of awkward. Not, you know, showing up at someone else's house, like, because your friend told you to come, and, you know, but they're cool.
Okay.
They, you know, yeah, you can stay, you know, just there. And then for a few months, maybe a month.
For a few,
no, it was
okay.
a month, I think. And then they knew people in Orange County. Like they knew a little bit of the industry. Like they knew Omar, they knew Jim Gray, like that scene right there. And then I was like, hey, Omar went to Brazil in '95, and him and Atiba, and then we did a checkout on Trans World. Then we did that, and then Omar was like, hey, I'm gonna send you products.
Okay.
You know, I was like, oh, that's cool. Omar's gonna send me stuff, whatever. You know, I think Bob translated it to me.
So you're still needing a little bit of help.
Yeah. 95, like
Oh, yeah.
95, 96, that was nothing.
First years here, yeah.
Yeah.
First year.
And then so I was waiting for like, where are the products? Like, you know, like Omar's gonna say he's gonna get in touch, whatever. Never happened. So when I was in Torrance, we were like, hey, maybe we can cruise over Costa Mesa, and then maybe try to track down Omar. I'm like,
hey, Omar, where's my box, buddy?
Dude.
yeah. And so we did that.
way,
Actually,
really?
we did. We went to Acme, ABC Boards, Acme.
Okay.
Back then,
Yeah.
Jim Gray.
Jim Gray, yeah.
So I walked in with them, like they translated to me, hey, this is Lincoln. You know, I think that's what he said.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
you know, like Omar went to Brazil, and then, you know, he talked to him, and then maybe, you know, get on the floor, whatever. And then Jim was like, yeah, Omar told me about Lincoln. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, he went to Brazil last year or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, I was like, and then what happened?
I
from
love
there?
that you just went into
Yes,
a random
we went
company.
in.
Hey, Omar said he was going to hook me up. You know, what's up?
Yeah, that they said, like, I told him, like, yeah, Omar was there, and then he skated the contest with me, you
I
know,
love
whatever.
that. Yeah, that's great.
But then I think, yes, Omar was hurt. He was in town,
Mm-hmm.
and then Jim Gray was like, hey, Omar's gonna go to Black Flies, the singlet, whatever, glasses.
Yeah.
There was a mini ramp back then or something, and then meet him there. I'm like, all right, cool. So we pulled in at the parking lot, then waited there for Omar. He showed up, so we talked about. It's like, yeah, let's get you some whatever, you know, like
Okay.
you got all that situated, and I'm like, all right. And then I think it was a contest in Seal Beach or something. So I stayed, skated the contest, and then Omar was like, hey, how about Formula One? What do you think about Formula One? I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
anything works. Yeah.
Anything works. Like, it's like,
I love it.
Yeah, but
He's
like,
just nodding his head the whole time, like, mm-hmm.
yes, pretty much. I was
Yeah.
like, cool, yeah. Well, why not? I mean, yeah, I'll get products, and then but here's the thing:
Uh-huh.
we make wheels.
Uh-oh.
And then I was like,
Spitfire
oh,
don't like
man,
that.
Spitfire. And then I was like, okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about it. I was like, to me, it was all new. So I remember having to call. We went back to Torrance, and then next day or two or something, like I had to talk to Ruben.
Okay.
And then my English wasn't like, you know, and then I called Ruben. It's like trying to explain Ruben, like, hey, no more Spitfire. Only Thunder trucks.
Okay.
And then he got it. He's like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. No wheels. Like, no. Like, yeah, Formula One, wheels, boards.
Okay.
So that was my conversation with them.
Was he
You know,
pissed
cool.
about? Was he upset?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think but my you know, I was like, I'm not gonna ask a friend of mine to call in or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it myself.
Probably better that you did it
Yes,
yourself.
yes.
Because then you couldn't have a whole big conversation
Yeah,
about it.
Yeah.
You know?
So that was my last, you know, time. I
Uh-huh.
think I saw Ruben afterwards, whatever, but he was really cool about
Yeah.
it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you get rid of one, they'll just get you,
I
get you
know.
off the whole program.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I still with Thunder. I think I got paid like $50 a month.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's pretty good for a little
Afterwards,
truck company. I'll
but
take
yeah,
$50.
that's
right
what
now.
So that's my start with
in the industry.
in the industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I love that it happened to you like the first time you came here, or was it the second time?
first time.
First time you're
Yeah.
getting introduced to all these people.
I had a chance to be when I went to Germany in '89.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, no English. I was 15. Santa Cruz went and talked to the translator guy. He was a photographer, Aníbal Neto. He got he said, "Hey, these guys want you to ride for Santa Cruz." I was
Really?
like, "Oh," but I was 15. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't. There's no way. Like, I'm still in school. Like,
Okay.
how am I gonna travel? Like, there was no way. So, what happened was, I was in Brazil and I received a box from Santa Cruz, a huge box, like, whatever, 10 boards,
What?
shirts, wheels, everything.
Starter pack.
From I don't know if it was an NHS back then,
Okay.
but it was a full package, like a box. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is insane.
What did
Yeah.
did you sell half of it or what did you do?
No, I actually, I remember I was skinny. The shirts were too big.
But that was
And-
the style back then, though.
Yeah. But like, I wrote all the boards.
Okay.
I wore all the shirts, everything. It was like all the Hosoi boards, all the Kendo boards, like all of those. And then I remember I wrote a letter to the person on like that, whoever shipped the box. It was Bob the Nike.
Oh wow.
Okay.
It was on the
Wow.
box.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I asked my teacher, like, because we, like in school, you have a little bit of English, whatever. And then, so I asked my teacher to help me with like writing a letter.
Okay.
I sent that out. Like, hey, but I don't know if he ever received it.
What was in the letter?
It's like, thank you
Thank you.
for everything. The shirts didn't fit, like the shirt was too big. Like this thing
Can you
like
send different
that.
size, please? Yeah.
Thanks, but
But like I had the chance to move, like to start, like whatever.
Right.
But I was too young.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that was the only box you got from them.
Only box I got.
Wow.
That's a hell of a first package.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
First
boards.
package.
Yeah.
Like boards and shirts and stickers and a lot of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you're out here in LA, you're making all the contacts. You get on Formula One.
Yeah.
Then I assume that they would just hook you up with a bunch of stuff, and then you went back to Brazil, rinse and repeat. You would sell stuff out
Yes,
there.
I did that.
But with
for-
with the sponsor, were they helping you pay for plane tickets, or were you still kind of on your own with that? I take it you weren't like a pro.
Acme was, yeah. I mean,
still am
a little
right?
bit like a one ticket. Yeah, a ticket just to go back and forth, like for the year or something. But I was going back and forth because I was able to get products and like Black Fly's sunglasses were expensive in Brazil. So I remember going in a warehouse when I was riding, like, and grabbing like the guys were go like Shannon and Shane. They were the guys there. They're like, oh, grab like whatever 20 glasses. I'm like, oh,
You're
really?
like,
It's like,
cha-ching.
and it's just like, and then
Right.
I knew like which one was like valuable, whatever. And then I went back and sold it.
Oh, dude.
And
Dubs, is this ringing a bell with anything?
It does ring a familiar bell.
yeah. So I did that for 2 years.
Okay.
maybe. Yeah. 2 years until like, so it was 96, 97, 98. 98, I was like, I'm going to move
Out
to
here.
California. Yeah.
How did you do that? Did you have to get a visa? Did you have to get a work permit? Like, what was the...
A visa.
Okay.
It was a tourist visa.
Probably a lot easier to get back then.
Yes.
Maybe, yeah.
A tourist visa.
Okay.
Was it B1, B2 or business? But like it's more like a tourist visa.
Okay. Okay.
So and then I start getting paid by Acme without and then I 96, 97 I think I went. Yeah, I was getting paid a little bit from Formula 1.
Okay.
So I went to Slam City Jam again. And then on the way back, instead of going to Brazil, came back to California. So the you have to clear customs there in Vancouver,
First. Yeah.
right? So the officer just asked me all these questions, and then I was like, yeah, so how do you make money? And then I was like, well, this company pays me. He was like, wait a minute, they pay you? So the visa you have, like my English was still broken English, whatever, learning it. And he was like, but you're not allowed to make money if you don't have a visa, and then it's like I was like, well, no, but I make the money, like,
He's arguing with the
I'm just trying to tell him.
No, dog. I trust me. I make money.
Yeah. So because to me, I was like, well, he wanted to know if I have enough money to stay in the country or to come in to survive.
Right.
But in reality, it was like, you're not allowed.
Right.
That's a no. So he pulled me into the whatever
Secondary
there, and then he dig, and then he got numbers, and it's like, who? It's like, yeah, call this person. I was like, call, and then I guess he called, whatever, and or maybe not, but he knew that I was so naive, and then I was speaking the truth, and then he's like, you know what? You can go. He let me go.
Okay.
He's like, but you need a new visa. Tell your sponsors you needed to get a new visa.
Okay.
So that was my thing. Like that's when I started to get paid. I was like, oh, I can get paid. But now I needed a document. Like, you know, like everything, social security number, all that stuff.
Okay. So you got set up. You're good after that. That's so nice of them to let you go and
Yeah, no, they were cool.
Yeah.
I don't think they would do that.
Right.
Nowadays.
And plus you probably didn't speak that much English too.
No.
So you were trying to like
yeah, trying to just to mimic. I was like,
right. You're like, money, call them. I'm good. We could kick it.
Please.
So everything was good with Formula One. You were skating, going back and forth. And then you moved.
Staying with those guys, like in Torrance.
Oh, the family
with all the family. Yeah, they they helped.
They looked down.
Like,
wait a minute. When you moved here, you moved in with them?
I it's not moved, but they were like, you can stay.
Oh, shit.
Whenever you come, you can stay. I'm like, are you sure? It's like, yeah, don't worry. It's like, just, it's just us three, the mom, the dad, and the two brothers, I mean, and they, I mean, I'm so thankful for those guys, like, and all the friends that were there, like, the people that I actually met there back then, still my friends, like, we're still in contact. If someone went back to Brazil, Digo's in Brazil right now, like, some of the other guys that because a lot of people will come in and go with that family, because they were super cool, like,
nice.
So from there, then I met Omar. He was like, you can stay with us. He didn't have a house, and like he was actually had a room with the Black Flies guy, Shannon and Shane. He had a room there, so I was like, you can stay in that room.
Wow.
But whenever there was no room, I would just sleep underneath the dinner table. Yeah, that was my spot.
Okay.
I had all my stuff, like, I was just sneak in there, like, and from there, like, I started to go and meet other people. Like Omar actually introduced me to, I think it was Don Brown. Yeah, it was Don Brown. Etnies wasn't Etnies. No, it was Etnies, but they had a problem with the trademark. Okay. That whatever year it was, they did it. They were doing America. And then S, I don't know if S was there. I think S was there already, but like they were waiting to get cleared to get the name back, Etnies, to promote. And then so they with that they put up a team together, which was me, Fabrizio, Carlos, Mike V, Alyssa. I think Rob G.
With Chris Lambert.
Yeah.
I remember.
That was that's when I got hooked up with the Soltec family. They were still 16th Street. I don't know, in Costa Mesa.
They were Costa Mesa at that point.
Yeah.
It's like when it started.
That, and then I got I think it was through Omar as well. Billabong back then.
Lincoln had all the sponsors, bro. Those were some good.
I remember Billabong was the thing. Like, I think Paul Gomez was like, "Yeah, come skate the mini ramp." I'm like, "Okay." I mean, back then I was skating a lot of mini ramp because I was skating the Black Flies mini ramp a lot. There was vert to skate vert.
Right.
I had to drive from. It was Torrance. We were in Torrance. We drove Ventura skate. What is it called?
The PAL skate zone.
No,
there was one in Ventura.
Oh, there was?
It was for a short period of time.
Skate one? No.
Oh my
Something.
God.
I don't know.
I totally know that was a big. There was
very
contest there and stuff.
A vert ramp, but like a street course, like So I skated. We would drive all the time. That was a commute.
God, I forget the name.
Yeah.
Was there any ones in San Diego at this point, or no? Or down south?
Not that I
Okay,
knew.
interesting.
Yeah, no one.
Not
Everything
the,
was,
not
you know,
the. I mean, shorter drive to Ventura than like us. You know,
Did I
San
read-
Diego.
But Encinitas, the ramp down there.
I did
Yeah.
that with Omar a few times.
Okay.
Yeah, but actually many times.
Because I feel like that was the main ramp, I would say,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
That was that one, and then they had the Escondido, the blue ramp,
Yep.
Okay.
a metal ramp, and then they had other ramps. Like when I was hanging more with it, like with the Brazilians too. Like we went to this ramp, like in the desert, like in Pomona. It was like a vert ramp. We skated there all the time. Like that was my whole thing. Then with Omar, and then Omar bought a house, and then I was stay with them, and then I end up like renting a place, like a room, for like 2 years
At Omar's.
at Omar's.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I was just going back and forth to Brazil.
Uh-huh.
Whenever contest there was here, Omar was injured with his knee, whatever. Like in Tampa, he got hurt, so he took me. That back then it was a triple crown, and
Triple Crown?
B2s, whatever. So I remember going to Chicago, going to some other triple crown events. So that was my thing, you know. And then I started getting paid, and then saving the money,
Yeah.
making the money, and bringing everything to Brazil. All the money.
Nice.
Just in a suitcase?
And-
No.
And like every time, and I was like, and then hiding it, like, you know, saving it,
Yeah,
because I wanted
yeah,
to buy
yeah.
a place in Brazil.
Oh, you did.
Yes, and then Paul Gomez was like, why don't you buy a place here in
Yeah.
California? I'm like, that's a lot of money, you know. And I was like, he's like, well, but if you have money for down payment, you know, with the contracts you have and all that, I'm just, you know, and then it's a write-off.
Right. Yeah.
And then that was all new, like all that stuff. So I'm like,
Okay.
okay, so he put me in together with like in contact with the what's his name, Patrick Tenori, which is
Why does it sound
Was it a
familiar?
realtor or something?
yeah, his dad. His son is Patrick Tenori from Ruka.
Oh, I don't know.
yeah.
I know what Ruka is. But
Yeah, he was actually starting it Ruka back then.
Really?
Yes, yeah. So his dad actually was my real
Real
estate.
estate.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So a few times.
How old are you at this point that you're going to buy a house here now?
Oh, man, there was I bought a house in 2000.
Okay, 2000.
Yeah.
Damn.
So with the
Super
money, I had the money. I actually had to bring all the money, the down payment money that I had from Brazil to here.
Yeah, but Lincoln,
You already brought it back home. You're like, I'm
I know,
bringing
but
it back home.
are we talking about it? Is it in the bank? Or are you actually hiding this money like
Cash.
under your bed? Like what's
Cash.
No way.
Cash. I would just have the money.
what I'm-
I would have
That's
the money.
amazing.
Brazil,
You know, I-
Harley too.
No,
That's
cash.
amazing.
Cash. I will deposit all the checks. Will come in
Okay.
into my like a bank account
Yeah.
in the U.S.
You
Withdraw
Okay.
and then bring it cash to Brazil.
Wow.
And then where you
And then it
Wait,
was
how many
done-
times are you doing this? Quite a few.
You're
Yeah.
going on the airplane with all that
Yeah, but
cash?
you go under
Yeah.
10 G's, you're
Yeah.
chilling.
I mean,
Yeah.
still though, dude.
Lincoln's in the plane like
Dude. You
counting his money.
Yeah.
better be that on the. You're not checking that on the flight, or are you bringing that on?
No.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to
So
be an
that-
idiot.
I just
to
love
check it
like
in.
going through like the.
So I had
it in your bag.
to bring that money back. But here's the thing too. I didn't know anything about credit to get a loan.
Okay.
So I had to get that money, deposit all the money, whatever, like a little bit more than the down payment, and sit on it for a month or a month and a half, so you could apply for a loan. You
Okay.
know, they go all through all
The
of
process.
these. You
Right.
know, so it happened. It worked out.
Okay.
What, so you had no credit score at all.
Zero.
Zero. Then
Zero.
you're just like, oh, here you go. Want to buy a house?
Yes.
That's gnarly.
And then the lady was like, "We can't do that." I'm like, okay, that was in 2000.
Right.
So that's how my life in the U.S. started. It.
Okay.
You know, like that way. Like my wife
That's
came in.
major.
Yeah, my wife came in to stayed, and she stayed for like 3 months to actually to go look for houses. So
Was she your
we
wife
went-
at this point, or still your girlfriend?
No, my wife. 'Cause
Oh, you-
we got
okay.
married in 1999.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So she was like, "Hey."
And she was okay with all this, moving to America and doing.
Well, she wasn't like she was okay me traveling, but at one point, she actually presented it to me. She's like, "Here's my passport. Now we needed to get married, and then I can go
Okay.
to California."
Right.
I'm like, "Okay." So we got married in 1999. She came over the end of 1999, 2000. You know, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna look for a house.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
In 2002, like the house was the market was
Wasn't-
actually decent.
Yeah,
it wasn't like
yeah.
crazy. So
Yeah, it
that's-
wasn't
that
like
was a
crazy,
good time that you
yeah.
bought.
Where did you buy it again?
Costa Mesa.
Costa Mesa.
Yeah.
You still living in the same house?
No.
No.
No, I'm in San Marcos now. But we
Okay.
lived there for 13 years, like in
Wow.
2013. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
There
you
was a
probably
lot-
made some good equity then
Yeah.
at that time.
Yeah.
for
It was
Oh,
a good,
wow.
yeah. The market went up and down
Mm.
and, you know, crashed and then went up again. And then I was actually driving so much to San Diego, like North County, because Tony has a ramp there.
Yep.
So I was commuting back and forth like 3 times a week or 2 times a week. And I was like, man, maybe we should just, you know,
Go down there.
sell it, go down there.
I'm gonna be able to skate the best vert ramp.
Yeah, yeah, that was
Perfect.
it's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
It's
it's
still-
Costa Mesa at that time.
yeah.
There's a lot of companies around there that were.
Yes.
Right? Wasn't Billabong down there?
Billabong was there
Yeah.
on Superior,
Yeah.
which turned it into Hurley later in 2000, 1999 or 2000. Turned it into that. I remember getting a call like I was in Brazil, and then English is still like learning it, and I had the contract, and Billabong was a big thing back then, like to be writing it for it. But it's still, I think, part of Billabong Australia, and then Bob Hurley built that Billabong US, pretty big, decent company, like, and then I think Billabong wanted to renew it or whatever, like they wanted lots of money. I don't know. I can't remember what happened there. But then I remember being in Brazil and I got a call from the team manager saying, hey, we're going to move you to this new company called Hurley. I'm like, what? Like, how come? I was like, well, Bob Hurley, you know, like this and that. And I'm like, trying to understand with the English.
Sure.
And I was like, okay.
The check's gonna still be the same or more, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I never knew that story of like what happened with that because Hurley came in. I thought it was just like a surf company, but like it came in pretty hot, really quick into skating and like.
I think it was together. Like it was, they built whoever was on Billabong. The names were there, like big names on surfing,
Yeah.
and then in skating, they actually moved a lot of those guys to Hurley. And
But they're kind of the same brands, but a little different, right? I know they're different names, obviously, but they were like very similar.
they were
looking at
very
'em.
similar. Yes, yes. I feel like you know the clothing we got, like everything that I got, it was like, you know, I was actually designing and stuff. Like they moved like it was a Hurley, and it's just the logo. I remember going to my first event with writing like a Hurley stuff was the MTV Music Festival in Vegas. Like they set up a not a vert, like
Was it
a
Hard Rock or
the
something?
Hard Rock,
Yeah.
on top of the parking lot,
Okay.
the Hard Rock Cafe
On
hotel
the roof,
on
right?
the roof.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I remember having like a Hurley, 99 or something, a jersey or something. That was my first event,
Okay.
riding Hurley. And I'm like, which back then, Billabong, I was actually in contact also with the Billabong Brazil because they knew I was representing US. And then it's like, hey, they wanted to keep you on Billabong. And then I was like, oh man, that's a decision that is going to be harder to make, you know. But since, you know, Bob Hurley and Paul Gomez and all those guys that I knew and it helped me so much at the beginning.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to stay with Hurley, you know, which I think it was, you know, I stayed with Hurley for a while. Like
Okay.
10,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
12 years.
That's
or
great.
something.
But then they didn't Nike buy Hurley after that.
Nike
shortly
bought
after.
Hurley. Can't remember which year it was. Like we still getting like I remember we got bonuses like they
Woo.
sold. Then I remember Bob or Paul gave me a check like here, we sold the company. Bob whatever made a deal and then
Yeah.
here's a bonus. It's like oh that's nice. So thank you. You know, so I kept in like with them for a while.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah. And then
Wow.
everything else it's just like it was Hurley etnies. So I was able to you
New
know,
deal?
Yeah.
New
oh,
deal.
new deal. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
That was a big thing.
That was a big thing. Yeah.
That might have been your biggest, I would say, like board sponsor. Like
Yes.
that was
Yes.
good
Because from
squad.
Formula One, like Jim was having a, I don't know, a hard time, whatever it was, with the company or the distribution. I don't know if it has anything with the world industries, a lawsuit, whatever it was. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But then Omar was like, hey, I think I'm going to leave. And then how about what you want to do? I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, I was like thinking about. And then I think Omar was going to Omar went right for Black Label.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, what do you think about New Deal? And then I think the distribution was giant.
Mm-hmm.
So I forgot the name. Garrett, maybe the guy that we had a meeting with. He was running it, and it's like, okay, yeah, we wanted to do New Deal again or something. They were revamping or the team or
Okay.
which, you know, I got the pleasure to ride with. Was me, Barty, Rob G, Fabrizio,
Tim.
Tim.
Oh wow.
Tim.
Yeah.
Ricky Oyola was on
Loyola,
there.
yes, Ricky was in it.
Ryan Johnson
Yes,
was on
yes.
that time.
And then we did that video 7 years ago.
7-year glitch.
Yeah.
Ricky Beatenbaugh.
What year?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
year is 7-year glitch?
2002.
2 maybe 1.
2.
Yep. Okay.
1 or 2.
Yeah. I was a junior in high school.
Yeah.
Remember that.
So yeah, then I stayed with New Deal for. I can't remember. They dissolved. Like they created they launched Popcore,
That's right. Yes.
and then they moved Tim to that, and
Gee,
you know.
yeah.
And then I think I was without a board sponsor for a while.
Hmm,
Or no,
really?
I was getting boards from. I got boards from Zoo York.
Oh wow.
I got boards from Premium Skateboards. Like even Jim tried to launch the new company. I forgot the name.
Jim Gray.
Yes, yeah, it was a new company. I forgot the name of it, but
don't
like it
know.
it didn't happen.
Okay.
And then I think I asked Sergi, I think, or someone about Christian, like a Hosoi skateboards.
Okay.
And then I got on Hosoi skateboards.
Ah.
Yeah.
What year was that? I feel like that's later on, no? Or
It was later on.
like what? Like going into 2010 era or something like that, or
Maybe I think 10 or
was it before that?
can't remember.
Yeah.
But I rode, and then I was riding for Christian. I was like, oh, that's great.
The
you know?
guy that you saw
Yeah, yeah.
in Brazil. That's
Yeah.
so crazy.
How it
Isn't
came
it
full
funny?
circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
so funny.
it was interesting to
Yeah.
see that whole perspective of being there, watching him on VHS tapes and watching him skate, and then like, oh my god, this is insane,
Totally.
you know, and then later meet him, like, because while that I was riding for all these companies, I saw Christian around it,
Right.
like, you know, hanging out in like a 96 or 97, like at a Vans event, because it was a Vans, like the Triple Crown was Vans, and he was there, he skated it, you know, but like, and then all of a sudden, like, he disappeared, and all
Right.
that happened, and then he came back with the company. Then I got, you know, to skate with them and then hang out, and we're friends now,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is crazy. Like, it's not only him, but like being able to, like, Pat was here. Pat,
Pat Ngoho.
Pat,
yeah.
we go back to 1990, I think.
Yeah.
Where he went to Brazil with Christian and skated a contest, and then that's when I met him. You know, him and Mark Sato, and then down, you know. Then I came here and then met with, well, actually, Omar took me to skate Huck's ramp. when that 97, Tony used to have a birdhouse in Costa Mesa, Newport, somewhere, a warehouse with a vert ramp.
It's not the same vert ramp now, right?
No.
Because the same vert ramp that they have now was the ramp that they took on tour with them, right? And they would put it together.
Yeah. It was back then. It was a permanent vert ramp.
Permanent. Okay.
Yes. That people will skate. And then I remember Omar was like, I'm going to take you to a vert ramp close to here. I'm like, okay. And then I walked in, looked up. It was Tony. I'm like, and nobody else. It was just him skating
By himself.
I'm like, oh my God, dude, do I skate? So we session,
Was that the first time actually meeting him? Okay.
Yeah. After the Munster in 89, I met him 97, I think.
Okay.
98.
Wow.
Yeah. So that
Was it a good session?
I guess. Yeah. I mean, it was trippy. Still to these days. I mean, if you skate with them, I'm like, ooh.
Well, because you said this was late 90s?
Late 90s.
Yes. Because then you were doing the Boom Boom Huck Jam with them, right?
Yes. That was in
early
2002.
How did that even come about?
Well, I was skating. I remember I was skating all these events, right? We actually competed together, again.
Yeah.
Hawks was still skating contest. And then one event in Hermosa Beach, I think, the Sobo, I was sitting there watching it, people skate. I think I can't remember what was it, but I was just sitting there. And Tony came up to me. My English was a bit better.
Okay. Okay.
He was like, hey, I have this friends or company behind. There is an event that they're putting up together this show, this concept. And I think you will be a good fit for, we're picking people. It'll be a BMX, motocross, skateboarding. It's going to be a show. I'm like, can I get your number? So it's like, yes, here. I think maybe 6 months later.
Okay.
I got a call from the producer or something. And then, hey, we're doing this thing, and but whatever. Explain the whole thing. I'm like, that's crazy. That's insane. It's. I don't think it has ever been done.
Right.
As a show. So then I found myself driving to Riverside one day, and staying for a month at a hotel close to this hangar, where the ramp, a brand new ramp, $1 million or more, the whole thing, the track, the moto track that jumps over, and then the vert ramp, and then it's gonna be a show with live bands, and we're gonna go across America, the U.S., from one end to the other. I'm like, okay, so we did that. It was insane.
How long was the whole tour?
I think it was 35 days. 35 days. Or 40 days.
Okay.
There was a year we did 30 shows. Or back-to-back shows. All the let's say Staples Center. Arenas like that.
Damn, Staples?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it choreographed?
It was a choreograph. Yeah.
How was that working with something like that?
It was all new. I mean, of course, we knew how to do doubles and stuff. But to get 6 guys on the ramp together at one same time, along with BMXers and the moto guys jumping over the ramp, then I got to meet Hoffman, that was all these guys, Dennis McCoy, Bucky and Andy. We were skating contests already. I will see Andy and Bucky and Bob. And John and all the riders, Mira, Kevin Robinson. It was all new for all of us.
Right.
But we spent the first year we did this, I think it was a month, going in that place every morning, started in early in the morning, all the way through the night, to the next.
Who's choreographing it all?
Man, there was.
Yeah, how do you do that for
was a-
each like?
Yeah, like it's somebody like, okay, listen, I think a BMX should go ahead. Like who's calling the shots? Who's doing all
There
this
was a
stuff?
producer. I can't remember the name.
Okay.
Right? They already have planned. Like, of course, Huck had a lot of like. I mean, it was his show.
Probably
You know.
the top dogs had
Yes.
meetings
Yeah.
of, hey, we could do this,
Yeah,
or
we can do
that.
this.
Maybe.
Like, you know, if you do this, like,
Makes sense, yeah.
and then you do the doubles, and then we go because it was like a full on show because he had an intermission.
Right.
Like it was first act, like, you know, the opening, whatever, and then doubles,
Mm-hmm.
and then moto or BMX, and then was like a band with the jam session, like we just skate, whatever, and then the bands will play, like Devo played,
No way.
Offspring's played.
I mean,
So
look at
many.
this.
like,
How long would it last? Like each show?
About 2 hours.
Damn.
Yeah, it was a long.
Were you exhausted by the end?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say. That's
I mean, at
gnarly.
first it was like, "Ooh, this is cool."
Yeah.
But then it turned out it was work.
But you're literally doing the same thing every stop, or,
Yes.
so you couldn't
Same.
like.
You couldn't miss.
Well-
Because people relied on you
Yeah.
to be okay. That guy's going. Okay, if somehow someone didn't show up at that spot, you're like, what do I do? What do I do? You know, there was a few times that were just like, oh, missed the cue. You know,
So did anything bad happen because of that, or was there any
a
like
lot of
times?
things happened. Like there was
sure.
the one that I remembered. Besides the people just crashing in, like doing the whatever doubles or like, I think Carrie at one of the stops, Carrie Hart, he got freaked out like during the show. Actually, can't remember which stop was it, which city, but he actually ejected from his bike and then went. His bike, we were always like in the show, and then we looked, and then there was a bike like on the flat bottom, just it smashed on the wall like a bug on the windshield. It didn't himself. I don't know if he was smashed or he flew into like straight into it, the ramp. So he ended up, I think, shatter his ankles,
pelvis?
both ankles
Oh,
or
wow.
something. I can't
Oh,
remember.
man.
But that was hard.
Right.
You know, things like that. It was
That was
like
during a show?
during the show.
Right. I mean, it seems like it's the precursor of Nitro Circus,
Yes.
kind of. It's
Yeah.
all choreographed,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
have a whole show going on, and it's
Yeah.
exciting.
It was.
Yeah.
It was very like I wish we could do something like that. Well, not with us, but like someone
Something,
will bring that back, some sort of, because it was cool though.
Right.
Like
Well, it's rad to get everybody together,
Yes,
right? You got the
yeah.
motocross, BMX,
yeah,
skateboarding.
yeah. And those guys were majority of those guys were. Well, X Games was big then, and then those
Yeah.
those guys were in it, like, you know. So that was
Mm-hmm.
a part of the whole, you know, marketing, advertising, like to the point like at one, like they stopped going to events and just doing that, you know, like all the choreographed stuff, and you know,
Right.
Did it pay good money?
it was good money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you did it every year for like, what, 4 or 5 years?
I did
right?
for I did all the big arenas, and then I did a little bit of, then start going like a like a Six Flags, like, you know, parking lot, like when it got smaller.
Okay.
But I did most of it.
Most of it.
What's
It-
your sponsors? Would they trip at all that you like? Did they have any obligations of like, hey, we need you to do these demos? Like, hey,
Yes.
I'm gone for
Yes,
a minute.
yeah,
like,
there was a few stops and events. But since everything was new, they were happy. They're stoked, like, cause that you know, we do shows, like there was a few TV that will cover the year, whatever. So they get you know, a little bit of cover of that marketing there.
Yeah, little product placement,
Yeah.
logos,
Yeah,
stuff like
and then
that.
we do signings. You know, they will bring like Hurley, whatever, or etnies will bring posters. So it's like give us like posters.
yeah.
Every stop we'll just sign.
Yeah.
You know, to the crowd.
Get a little
and, like,
autograph signing going.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a big
in
thing.
way.
It was.
It was.
Now, am I mistaken or something? But did I hear you? That's where you did the loop for the first time, or was
I
it?
did the loop. Yes.
Was it at the Boom Boom Huck Jam, or was it a different spot?
It was at the Boom Boom. Yes.
You did it during it.
The last time they set up, I think with the loop, the last stop. I was like, it was I think me and Sergi. I think we were back then that show. Like we're the only ones that haven't done it.
So they were doing shows with the loop.
with the loop every night.
Tony was doing the loop.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Except me and Serge.
What do you mean? What?
Everybody. All the skaters, BMX guys. Like,
Okay.
Bob would do a switch.
Of course,
every
Bob
night.
would do switch. Bob,
You
Bob
know?
would, yeah.
Like, so that was a section, part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
After the intermission or whatever, we go in and like that, and then the intermission, whatever it was. There was the loop.
Okay.
So the loop of death, whatever. They call
Why wouldn't you do the loop though? Were you just
I
scared to
know.
do it, or
Fucking
it's-
no?
terrifying.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It
But I mean, everybody else is doing it. You had time to practice it.
We
You had-
practice. I think 2 shows before, because every night we'll have a warm up, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
then they'll go with the pads and make sure people will go through and then whatever, take it out, like, and then so we're like, man, this is gonna be the 2 last shows, whatever. We gotta do it,
Okay.
So we end up doing it. I think there was one part. I think Bam was there too. I don't know, but Bam was previous. Like, but that was the stretch, like that year that we did. So
Wait, did you do it during practice or during the show?
during practice.
Okay.
Well, I did it during. I can't remember if I did in practice just with the pad. I might have done without one time. It was like, okay,
Okay.
I can do this.
Was it terrifying or what?
Once you do it, it was fine because it feels like a carving. You carve, like you just look at the line, just look it
don't,
straight, and
you don't
keep.
pump or do anything. You
no.
just like let your.
Yeah.
Pump through it.
Well, no, that was the whole thing. People that have been on the show they've said before, like, you don't pump, you just let it go, and that's the
Yeah.
weirdest thing is
Yeah.
not to like pump through
Oh
something.
no! If you pump you just like do
Yeah.
Throw
whatever.
yourself. Yeah.
yeah.
Do the Schaefer
Right.
or
Yeah.
That was bad.
Oh,
But that was the thing. I know. After I did it that year, whatever, Bob had an event in Brazil,
Okay.
and then he built a loop there. Of
course
and
he
it's like,
did.
yeah, come over, whatever. Like you did it. You just do it. Like it was me and Denny Way, and then a few other guys. Denny wanted to do it. I don't think he's done it, or he wanted to do it.
Has Denny Way never done the loop?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Wow.
yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I never thought about that. Yeah.
Keep going. Sorry.
So we both got smoked.
Oh,
Yes.
Was it
During practice in Brazil, and I think it was Rio de Janeiro. Like it was an event there, and then it was like, yeah, we can do it.
was it?
But maybe the dimensions were different.
I was gonna say, yeah.
the speed we had, the rolling, whatever it was. I tried it, went like 2 whatever somersaults, whatever, like, and then landed on my knee, one out like on the pad, and the other one with not on the pad, like whatever, got hurt.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I've done it
I'm
already.
done with the loop.
That's it.
I'm
Yeah.
like thinking about actually. Imagine if you had to try that. Like, you know what I mean? Like for especially like skaters like us, like me,
Yeah.
Jerron, and Chris, who would just.
No, Kelly, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry,
like I
bro.
can't even
Yeah,
imagine like.
Well, think of
having-
it,
There's no had to do anything. Yeah.
like,
Think about this. Like, there's only a handful of people
Of
that
people,
have done
yeah.
the loop.
Yeah,
it's not like everybody goes and does the loop. Like Tony would set it up in
Yeah,
the
he
parking
did it a
lot
few
for a
times,
little
like 2 or
while.
3 times.
People would go, but not that many people have actually
Oh,
done
yeah,
it.
yeah.
it's like you could fit them all in
Yeah.
the.
Think one
your-
hand?
Maybe
Or 2
two.
hands?
Maybe 2. Maybe
2?
like if you.
if you like, so how hard it actually is, I understand.
Yeah.
Like, but once you did it, was it easier than you thought?
Here it is, right
Like
here.
once you cleared, like once you went through,
Yes.
it was easier than you thought.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's like one probably.
It was just like go and then stay and then look at the line, and then it's there. It's done. You're like, oh,
Look at it. It's right here.
'Cause it does
Lincoln.
look like you're carving to
Yeah.
an extent.
Yeah.
I do understand what you mean by
Yeah.
that.
Boom.
yeah,
That's flawless.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
fun.
awesome.
During a show too, you got to be like really. I mean, it's a whole different vibe.
Yeah, it's
than
a
just
different
having a
vibe.
session with the buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
That's cool,
everyone's
though.
doing it too.
Yeah.
It's like
Everyone is doing
everyone's
it.
doing. You're
You're
like,
like,
and
You gotta do it.
It's go time. It's go time.
Step it up.
But that's cool that you got to do it.
Yeah.
Like think about that. Like it's.
Yeah.
I don't think Tony's going to set up the ramp again. I've heard
I don't know.
I've heard that he doesn't want to. Maybe
No.
or I mean he hasn't done it in a while.
Yeah, he hasn't done it in a while.
So
I know he got hurt too.
He did.
I think.
Oh, did he?
oh,
Just recently?
no.
Not
like,
recently,
during the
like
loop?
back
Yeah.
that era or a little bit after. I think he got hurt
Yeah.
at Bob's because Bob had
Oh.
one.
Yeah.
right?
Well, Bob took the
Took the
top
top.
off and he did it switch. And
there,
so
over-
he's,
Switch
yeah.
with the top off.
he's a crazy man.
Yeah. So
Well, dude, how many times that Tony Hawk might have done it the most in the world?
Sure. I bet
So
I
he's probably
believe
like,
it.
dude, why do I need to keep doing this?
But also, too, like, you got to think about how many people could go there and try and get smoked. You know,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I mean, he probably got sick of watching all his friends get
That-
I mean, you can get really hurt, bro. At the
you
end.
can.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
went the time he set it up in Vista, right at the parking
lot, yeah.
lot. I remember watching Tom Schaar
Tom Schaar.
getting hurt.
Oh,
That
Tom
was
Schaar's one of the
that was
best.
crazy, but he was
Small kid.
smaller
I
kid,
understand,
like
but
small.
still.
But I remember Cab was trying it. He got a few times around and then slammed really hard on his back, and he's just like nah.
Right.
And then some other people trying it too, just getting
Yeah.
hard and like hard slams. Are like, oh,
Well, it's like you never
yeah.
experienced that feeling at all in a
Yeah.
skateboard. You might be as good as transition as you are.
Yeah.
But no one's.
yeah.
You never tried
it's
it.
different.
Yeah.
It's a different
feeling,
feel.
yeah.
Yeah. for sure.
Lizzie Armanto.
Lizzie did it.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
That's
that was
amazing.
insane. I was like, yes. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
that
she's
was
the only woman that's done it.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
That was
Here's
awesome.
the Bob
the
Bob's
switcher.
ramp with his.
He is
Are you
unbelievable.
kidding me, dude?
Look at how do we write? Yeah, let's read. They
Yeah.
took the thing off, and then he goes switch.
Oh! Sorry.
Yeah.
Whoa, Kelly!
That was gnarly.
That was no.
Look at him.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, though, Bob is a madman.
Yeah.
He's a madman. Look at that.
Well, it's like, how do you calculate that? Like, I'm going to build this out, and then this has to be taken out here. It's
They just do.
Yeah. Look.
like, but
Yeah, that was normal. Yeah, he did like actually lines there. He did a loop into a kickflip to fakie
I do remember that. Yeah.
or different things there. I'm like,
I
oof.
love that he just they
Oh no, he would do out of the vert ramp backside nose grind or a crooked grind
into the loop.
into the lend and then into the loop. Sometimes he did it
I love this.
like a sequence.
He's got to be one of the best at
Oh yeah.
innovation and
Oh,
just
for sure.
craziness. You know, we've talked about it on the show too. The fakie 5-0 fakie flip at the X
Absolutely.
Games.
Yeah.
Best
Yeah.
trick.
Fakie 5-0, fakie flip, like oh,
Dude,
that year he did on that bar. He did. I held my board for him, like, and he did jump into a front blunt
On your
Oh,
board.
wow.
on my board. I
Now,
my
had you
board
guys
there.
practiced that before?
No, he just came up was like, hey, hold your board right here. I'm just gonna do a front blunt. I'm like, how? I was like, I'm just jump on your board and do it. I'm like, oh,
We got to watch that.
Oh,
but this
man,
is
that's
really this is a
insane.
fakie
it's still to these days, man.
Yeah.
Like,
fakie nose boom.
Insane.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That is psycho.
oh,
In
yeah.
a best trick, no
In a
no
best trick.
less.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Lincoln?
No.
You are a phenomenal skateboarder. Could
just
you
doing that on the
imagine?
coping is insane.
He bounces off like
Sheesh.
JC, see if you could find the one that he's talking about, the Lincoln Ueda.
One of my favorite
Holding
clips
the-
of
holding the
Bob
board.
was like old 4-in-1. He switched nose blunts, pop in on a vert ramp.
oh yeah.
That was like, I was like, what the fuck, dude? This guy's next level.
But
Yeah.
that's when he was coming out here and doing all the switch tricks and getting with all the sponsorship.
Well,
and all
people
that
loved
stuff.
him too with the X Games because his style was so
Yeah.
lanky and like
Lanky,
just
and then
kind
all
of
this-
wild a little bit too. It
Is
was
he
like,
gonna make it? No.
he-
Oh,
but
he made it.
He was like
you know?
exciting to watch.
Yeah.
You know, it was
Yeah.
like, oh my god.
He was on Anti-Hero before,
Before.
early on.
Yes.
And then went to the firm, which I thought it was because the Anti-Hero is like pretty raw.
Uh-huh.
And then go to the firm, which is very like,
Yeah. That was when
Yeah.
I was hanging out with him in SF. And then he moved to San Diego. And then he was still with Anti-Hero, but like after a while, like I don't know how many years after, he just switched it.
He was
like,
probably skating with Lance a lot.
Maybe, yeah,
and
yeah.
like that just happens in skating, right?
Yeah.
You change your crews, you move
Yeah.
somewhere, and all of a sudden you're hanging
Yeah.
out with different people.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that was the case too. Did we talk about that maybe when he was on the show? I forget.
I feel like we did.
We
I
had
just can't
to have.
remember exactly
Yeah.
what
It's
it
been
was.
years
Yeah.
since he was on the show.
Yeah.
But
It was fun doing all that with them. Like we traveled
yeah.
a lot too.
Mhm.
did demos, and for Soltac we actually did a bunch of demos for Soltac in Europe.
I remember specifically, I would say him, obviously, and you would skate in those Sal mid-top ones with the sock. Did you skate in those?
I did.
Yeah, because I was like, that
Yes.
just seemed like the vert shoe.
Yeah.
Was that a good one?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I always remember him
That
skating
was
and
a
you.
good one. Like that one, I think I wrote a lot of those, and then I actually wrote, I think Mike V's for a little bit, and then Elisa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh, she had
Elisa.
she had the first pro model
Yeah.
female shoe
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
on etnies.
On etnies, yeah.
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 Those are sick too, dude.
Yeah.
Did you find it? Bob, I would send him shoes like S sometimes, but it seemed like he liked mid-top shoes. Is that like a thing for?
I think, yeah, but well, it's all a preference. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like depending on how you fall, like, cause when you knee slide, it's like it's hard. Like sometimes you get like your ankle, you know, the bone there, just like if it's not covered. Like, but some people like it, some people don't.
Right,
So
right, right.
it's all a preference.
Do you ever put like tape on your shoe?
Oh,
when
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you put that? Like, so
But
for knee
mostly-
sliding or what?
No,
just-
mostly it's for the shoelaces.
Oh, okay. You don't do
Yeah.
shoe glue. You just put the tape on there.
Just put tape on the shoe. Yeah.
Well, I
Shoe
guess
glue.
I trip out the way that vert skaters flip their boards. Like you guys use literally, like it's not like your little flick.
No, it is a flick, right?
I know it
Yeah.
is, but it's like
Yeah.
use a lot of your actual shoe to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like just a little bit of it.
No.
You're like
yeah.
it's like
Well,
grabbing the whole top.
It depends on like it all. I feel like depending on your style of skating,
Mm-hmm.
like you see Rune doing a kickflip. It's way different than I used to do, like kickflips.
True, yeah.
You know, or even Bob, like, or Bucky. Like it all depends on your style of skating. Like, but I know Bob, like when he had a shoe on ass, it was like all different. Like you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
with
yeah.
like the lace, whatever cover or those things.
Yeah,
so.
because you're not like alling off it. You're bonking off the coping.
Some people do
Some
bonk,
people
and
do-
then some people just ollie.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
if you, like you're saying, the different style.
Yeah.
So if you're kick flipping off of a bonk or
Uh-huh.
off of like kind of a little snap, you know.
Mine is
kind
off
little
of a
different.
bonk.
It's off of a bonk, right?
Yeah, a bonk and then you flip and then
Which is kind of you have the same mannerisms as an ollie, but you're just kind of getting
Yeah.
there differently.
Yeah.
You're just bonking
Yeah.
off the coping.
Yeah.
Don't most vert skaters bonk off the coping?
not really.
Yeah.
It all depends. Depends on the ramp too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But like I taking it like for an example, like Rune. I can remember Rune doing all these switch flips. You know, like even Bob. Like it's prior to the coping. It's like
yeah.
starts on the vert.
Yeah.
Like that way, you know, it's like it's more subtle. It's like light on your feet. You know, those little things.
I love watching Rune Glifberg skate, man. You missed it, dude. I know. I'm sorry you did, but at the Combi, he did the switch
Yeah,
flip.
yeah.
You see it?
I saw practice.
Dude,
Yeah.
oh my god! In the run,
Yes.
he won the thing.
Yep.
I believe it was a pro. What was it? Not the
Masters.
Masters.
Yes.
Dude, it was the most
Yeah.
beautiful switch flip
was a
at
good
the Combi Bowl. It was incredible,
Yeah.
bro.
So light, like
Oh
so
my
stylish.
god, dude! So here it is. Here it is. Is this it? See if you can find it. JC.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think it was the end of his run. I think.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Oh, here we go. Check this out. Look at this little switch flip.
Madonna.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
Yeah, he goes.
There's got to be
Yep.
right here. See, half cab nose.
Back D.
No, okay, right
nose,
here, right here.
yeah.
This is it.
This looks like
Look
it.
at
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Wow.
Ooh.
that wasn't the best angle, but man, it was
Yeah.
fucking
You could tell
beautiful.
it
See, like he
perfect.
took off before, like he
He flicked that,
Yeah, the
right.
flick was before. So that's how he skated. Like he always skated that way too. So.
Yeah, we're for explaining this to us because we're like a bunch of street skaters. We have no idea, like, what, you bonk off it or do you ollie? And I
Not that
personally,
bad.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even
Like
know
the
that
new
either.
generation of skaters, I feel like a majority
Snap.
that
Bonk.
skates to park, the new generation actually flicks like before. I mean, it's almost it's right there, you know. It's like, but you can tell like they, the ones that street skates can skate street and he skates transition,
Right.
and so it's which I think it's the beauty of nowadays, like skating.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it, people are all more rounded.
Yeah.
A lot more adaptable these days, for sure.
Yeah.
It's really fun watching Tom Schaar.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's really fun. Like at the Combi, he was doing 540s overhead, like just
Season.
like nothing.
I know Tom since he was Tom used to come skate the vert ramp at the block at the place. And his parents used to stay right around like there's like a mezzanine that you can stay up. And then the vert ramp right here, they used to watch him skate. It was like session with us on the vert. Then he was little dude, like little skate. Like so that bowl he skated when it was like probably plaster, the white one. But then like Tom, I remember going to skated his ramp in Malibu when he used to live up there.
Yep.
Had a ramp there. We skated there. Took my son there. Man, I wish we shot photos like doing doubles. Like he's going like stale fish. Like, I'm going like stale fish over
Blasting.
him.
Yeah.
Or lean melon over him. Like I have the photo. I'm like, man, I got to find this photo, send it to him, like.
He's a fun.
Yeah.
He's like a Mike Mo on vert because he really like he'll stomp a trick midair, but he lands so gracefully and like it's really interesting to like
So
watch.
powerful
him.
too.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like he's
it's
powerful, but he's
yeah.
very delicate.
Yeah.
Also, it's dude. He's.
I mean, the way he skates, mega ramp or the mini mega ramp,
dude.
whatever. Like it looks like a mini ramp.
Yeah.
You're like, no. Like the other, like there was a clip. I think it was on Instagram. I think was it Tony that filmed it. He's just playing around on the deck.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, stays there, just hop into pivot fakie, and then nollie nose blunt in, and then he whatever like blunt
Yeah.
in like.
That's what I'm saying. He's like a
Yes.
Mike Mo
Yes.
on a.
Yeah.
But you know who's also I love watching Cory Juneau.
Oh, Cory. Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Talk about like style and like just
finesse, like
Oof.
all his tricks, like like his frontside flip, frontside nose blunt slide.
dude. He was front boarding
Front
around
board.
that corner.
Yeah.
Like it's not the corner though. It's the
round. Yeah, we call it
it's
round.
the round.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the round, yeah.
The corner's the corner.
all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way, like
Bro.
yeah. Man, I missed all that action.
Dude.
I mean, I see all that.
But it was
Back.
fun. I mean, you were skating also with in the practice too.
Yes, yes.
So you
No, I
saw
saw
a little
it.
bit.
I saw it. Yeah.
Look at this real quick. This is let me rewind it real. Dude, this front board.
Front board.
There's Christian. Look at Cory Juneau, man.
Yeah.
Watch this front board. Goes into the little square. Okay, boom.
Yeah.
That wasn't even. That was a short front board.
Look at that.
Wow.
Pop the shit out of that nose blunt back in.
Yeah,
he's fun to watch.
I can watch him all day.
He
skating.
is fun.
So
He's
good.
fun
It's like
to watch.
watching
man.
him on there, like Tom and him, and a few other kids. Like it's watching. I tell Jimmy on vert.
Yeah.
I'm like I can watch Jimmy just
Oh,
like
Jimmy Wilkins?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
No joke.
I'm telling you, some of these, there's Rune again.
Rune.
Some of these kids, man, they're just really fun to watch,
Yeah.
dude. There's a bunch of Tate Carew.
yeah.
There's Tom Schaar again.
How was judging all these guys at the Olympics?
Wait, look at this back.
That back tail,
my
dude.
God.
Yeah, he stays there forever.
He's so mellow, too. He's just like
Yeah.
a mellow, kind of quiet.
Oh,
But man, could that dude blast.
yeah, I got the opportunity to judge. Yeah, Cory actually.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
third place.
He got third.
Yeah.
And then I got hated
I was
by, dude. I even though I don't put scores in, I almost got not get killed, but like I got
Got death threats?
Death threats. Like,
Really?
yeah, for all the Brazilians, I'm like, dude,
They take their sports really seriously.
Yeah.
yeah,
joke.
it was
So what happened? What happened? Tell us what happened. You got death.
What happened?
Why?
like the contest was going on, whatever. Like, and then Cory did a run, and he was what place he was?
Was this 20?
He wasn't top. He wasn't top
He
three,
wasn't
right?
top three. I think
The There was a Brazilian in
Luis.
third or something.
Luis were third, or oh, man.
Someone was in third,
or,
and then
or Kieran was. I don't
Kieran
know.
was already. Wait,
Kieran was already third, I
Okay,
think.
okay.
I think. I can't, if I'm not mistaken.
Was this
like
2020,
Kieran.
2021?
2020,
I mean, 2024.
2020. But
2020.
it wasn't like
Yeah,
2020
yeah,
COVID and
yeah,
all that stuff. But like, Cory did a run, made a run, like you all that, frontside flip, and all, like you utilize whatever. And then Luis was close to him or something, or I can't remember how many points behind it. And then he add some to the run. His run, the run that he did was like, like I can't remember what the scores, but people thought that Luis should be third.
And Luis is Brazilian.
Yes.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm there as a head judge. I mean,
yeah, but you're not putting a
I'm
score.
not putting
in.
the score.
Yeah.
There's 5 judges there, and then
So what does the head judge do? If
the head judge just
if-
they're reminding them, like, pay attention to this and that. This is the timing. This was the fall. It was a complete run. Was not, like you give, like, if the scores comes in, that hey, if you give this scores to this guy, he's gonna be whatever, third, second.
So you're
or-
kind of there coaching the judges in a sense.
not coaching. I mean, they do.
You're reminding
You're
them?
painting him a
reminding
picture of
them.
what's going on in that moment.
Yeah, because it's so
Yeah.
much going on.
Yeah.
And then the scores have to be like, I don't know, 10 seconds, 15 seconds because of TV stuff, you know?
Okay.
And then so I'm just there reminding, and then this and that. And then, I was like, hey, look at your, scoreboard, look at the sheets, like the writing you guys have, like this guy did this. So scores comes in, and then it was like, you guys, all judges, all the panel, good with it? Like, what is like, and there's like, I think, because it's like high and low gets,
Gets dropped.
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 And then the average makes it. And then comes in the score, and then I said, hey, he's going to be in this place, whatever, third place. And then it's like, they all look at each other. It's like, no, that's right. Like this guy, this. Of course, he made a run, but like there's a few tricks. Like if you look at the height, the style, the combination, the spot, whatever.
There's a lot that goes into it.
So then the score comes in, and then he's in third place. And obviously, at the end of the event,
Cory
I
Juneau.
think he was the last guy to skate.
I think he was, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Cory
So he
Juneau
made
got
a
into
run.
third and then knocked the other guy
Knocked him
out
out,
into
I
fourth.
think. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what it is, though? I really feel like people, when they see something like that happen, when they see someone land all of their tricks,
Yes.
they think that that's
They
going to
think-
win. And
yeah.
you have to compare those tricks to
Yes.
what else is going on.
Yeah.
And so people might like that one skater very much, but it wasn't as good as the other
as the
person that
other
landed
person.
all the tricks.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes hard for people that are very biased
Yeah.
looking at the guy that
No,
they,
yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely, like, then, dude, contest was over. So we went to this box, whatever. We got our phone.
Oh, you're not allowed to have your phone.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
At all. Like nothing. And I was like, oh my God, dude, look at my Instagram. I was just like,
People DMs or people tagging
DM
you?
tagging like that on like whatever, Twitter, Facebook, like you're a Brazilian. I'm like, that doesn't mean like, I'm here to judge. It's a competition,
They
like,
want you to cheat for him.
yeah. And then friends, I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly can't believe people do that. Like, you're there to make a fair decision and judge what these
What
judges
these- yeah,
think.
yeah.
And that's what you're there to do. So,
So
Wow.
But
literally,
I get it. It's
literally like
skateboarding.
death threats.
Oh yeah.
That is
That-
how.
I've heard that in like
you're
soccer.
gonna come
No,
down here
for
you
sure.
have to, like,
but
you know?
I still don't understand how something like that is legal. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's not legal, but it's not protected. Maybe they don't enforce it. But you're threatening to end somebody. Like that
Yeah.
should be illegal.
Yeah,
You should
to a
be
degree.
charged for that.
But like
You're gonna turn in how many people did it? Like 150
Many.
people.
I
Hell,
think
All
just
these
show them
people.
give them your phone. Be like, hey, go after them.
Yeah.
Go do your
It
shit.
was-
But
it was,
that's
tense.
that must. Listen, social media, people can come after you, but I mean, getting that type of social media threats must be like a whole.
I don't
other-
think it was not only this event. There was a few events
Yeah.
because I was part of the first whatever cycle, the whole thing.
Right.
prior to it. And then I remember going to Brazil at a contest there. I think even Kyle Berard got,
Oh yeah.
like that was crazy. Like
Mm-hmm.
people will get and wanted to get on a fight, or like I'm like, man,
So wait, it wasn't just you; it was the other judges as well.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like there was so much more passion behind the park than there was street. I don't know
You think?
why. I didn't when I
Yeah.
was out there. I didn't feel that, but maybe I didn't have that it didn't come down to like a Brazilian thing.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But they are very passionate. I give
They
that
are
to them.
Brazil.
I give it
yeah.
to them, man.
Yeah. They are.
Yeah.
I mean, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Were you,
But like it kind of to me it changed a little bit. Like, well, maybe because I've been here for so
Yeah.
long,
were you Were you scared when that happened, or it just kind of blew over? It was all talk.
Well, I had to shut down, like for maybe my social media, whatever, like for
yeah.
maybe 2 months.
Oh,
I
wow.
didn't even go into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So and then that went away.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
sure.
Who was top? It was who won? I forgot. Or
That was Keegan.
Keegan. Yeah. He obviously it was
Yes.
like because he was first and then he beat himself.
Yes.
Like after that, and then who was second?
Pedro.
Pedro. So you had a Brazilian in the top
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
And then Cory was third. So I was like, dude, Pedro fucking killed it.
Still made it.
I was like, that's fucking
Yeah.
amazing.
I get it.
Yeah.
It is so subjective. It's a contest. We've been through this for many, many years. Like, from watching it back in the day, Hosoi and Huck.
Oh yeah,
you know,
for
like
sure.
those, like things. I grew up watching that. I'm like Delmar events, like
Yeah.
a VHS tape. I'm like, whoa, So
I often wonder how, because I don't know how the Olympics affected skateboarding really. I don't know if I don't think it helped at all. The last couple Olympics, but I wonder how it would affect skateboarding in the 80s. Like because for a fact, Tony, Christian, everybody in the 80s would 100% be in the Olympics if it was available. 84 Olympics in LA.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
be a
Or
whole
whatever,
world.
84, 5,
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 88, you
Yeah.
know.
yeah.
I don't know.
I
It's
like-
interesting to think.
I don't know how it's gonna turn to be. We don't know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like I'm part of it. I've been part of it.
Are you going to
like-
be in the next one too here in LA?
I'm not sure.
No, okay. They don't
Yeah,
know. We don't know
yeah.
yet. Okay.
I'm still like I after all of these, like as a pro skater, and then I did a lot of judging.
Mm-hmm.
But prior to the Olympics, I judged a lot of the events, all the VPS, the Vans Park Series, X Games, Do Tour, all the Tokyo Olympics, like qualifiers.
Yeah.
So I was doing that a lot, and then I got to go and coach in China
Mm.
since 2022, 2023 into the 2023, 2024. Like
Oh, wow.
almost,
So
almost 2
you-
years.
You left judging to
I
go
left
coach.
judging. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how's that been?
Been good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was coaching already, like at the CATF. While I was judging all those events, I was able to go and do all, like, as a side job, whatever. And then the Olympics came. At one point, I was like, man, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Might as well, if you have the opportunity to be in it and then help out in a way. Maybe, I don't know, like I was judging it. And then, of course, we all the meetings and we had, like,
Yeah.
how are we going to do this? Like because this is, it's going to end up shaping is a part, like, a portion of skateboarding as far as the competitions.
Sure.
For the kids, whatever, the kids are going to come in, or not the kids, but the whole world will see, like, oh, okay, this is how they do it. Oh, countries like China,
Right.
or countries that the skateboarding, it's not as developed as US or Europe or Brazil, Asian countries, whatever, like, or Middle East, or they're gonna watch it and they're gonna go, ooh, okay, a kickflip at 540, which it did. Like going into China, like, well, my whole thing with China was, after judging Tokyo, my kid wanted to be part of the competition, the circuit, whatever, for USA.
Okay.
So he kind of started to go into those. So I was like, I can't be judge. I can't judge anymore.
Right.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
Kids,
Yeah.
Your kids in
Yeah,
I
it.
can't.
Yeah.
I cannot. He's gonna be in it.
Right.
And so I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden I got this text message from an agent, like after the Olympics. I'm like a guy from Europe, and he's like, hey, China is looking for a coach. I'm like, what?
Was it Dan?
No, Dan was already there.
Okay.
Yeah, because I knew that was going on. Dan and some other guys were there already doing like working in China. And then I was like, maybe this, okay,
Yeah.
this is what I need to go to China, right? And then we going back and forth. And then I was at TF, and then and they're like, oh yeah, you've been coaching there, and then you were judging it, so we need someone that was a pro, and then lived as a not that I like, there are people there already. Dan women like women from UK.
Yeah, I'm not sure his last name actually.
Yeah,
but
Dan was there already, like trying to help out and build the scene in
Right.
China.
Help build the culture.
Yeah, the culture. And I was like, well, maybe I can do that, So we go back and forth, like, yeah, this and that. And they presented to me, it's like, yeah, you can coach the national team. I'm like, what? It's like, okay. So I went there. I mean, after many, whatever, conference calls.
Sure.
Right? So you did all that. And that was during, was it pandemic? No, that's after. That was
right
right
after.
after. That was right after, yeah. But China is still under...
Oh,
yeah, still a lot of a lockdown. And
Was Rodrigo out there too at that point?
Rodrigo got there after I was there.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
to work with Zoe. Yeah. So I got to that, started to do, like, at first I thought it was gonna be. It was all new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it was all new. Like, the system there is different, and I get it. And then I respect a lot the culture of sports there.
It's just train.
It's train. Yeah. Like, you get there at 9, you skate. I mean, you teach for 3 hours, you get a break, and then you come back at 2 or 1:30, and then you go until 5.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. And then there are days that the kids have workout classes, like even that this place had a trampoline. Like, they come up with all that, and then and so you kind of have to blend in a way, but I wanted to put my perspective of skateboarding, like,
Right.
I've been through also with my son, how everything works, and then it was just,
Is it hard for them to understand that
Yes.
aspect of
Yeah.
it?
yes.
Like, I just go out like when I want to go out, and this is how
Yes,
this is how I learn.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a drill sergeant like on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I feel like it didn't like, because at first I thought this is the national team, but in reality it was a province, a city,
Okay.
right? But this city had they own it for, I don't know, for that the time that I was there, the title of a national team for China. So they had all these kids, the girls that they actually hired me to, to get this girl to make it to the Olympics of 2024. So that didn't go through, like, like, kids there, like, some of them go to school, some they don't go to school. Sports is it's a big thing for them to thrive,
Right.
as a human being down the line in the future.
Yeah.
So they put all their eggs, like, they're devoted to sport, because they know with that, in like later in their lives, they're gonna be able to actually get a scholarship and do the studying it later. So that's how I kind of understood and navigated. And then
And how are those skateboarders like picked or chosen like to?
at first when I went to China one time to judge an event, I sat down by, I think Dan was there, some other coaches were there, and then they're explaining to us, like, they go to a school like a martial art or whatever school, like or academy that does gymnastic, and then they test the kids.
Right.
That's
they
how
pick out the best ones
Yes.
they think will be the
They
best.
can
Christiana Means was on our show, and she was
Right.
explaining all.
Right.
You could have just said you were trying to allude to that.
Yeah.
But they would pick who
They would pick whoever they think would have balance.
Yes.
Or, you know.
Right.
Even if they didn't want to do it.
I think.
Well, that's
because
what you-
sometimes it comes from the family.
Right.
The family
But they
gets the kid.
And they would get paid for it too, I think.
Yeah, that's
the
what I
families
heard.
would get paid.
Yeah, the
So
families.
I think that because everybody's different, but I think Christiana Means she didn't have the best experience going to China and dealing with the regiment that they had.
There is
set
the
out,
regiment.
you know?
It's set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there, and then even I tried.
Did it prove to work? Is the whole like? Did it seem like that worked for the kids? In a sense of like, wow, we're learning. Now we're learning.
Yes,
Okay.
they have, but to a point, to an extension that you're like, they need a break.
Yeah,
you know, they're
right.
kids. They needed to have the outside world. Like, you know, they gotta go have a session with their buddies.
Right.
You know, it's just like me and 3 kids all day long at this huge skate park. You know,
It's so crazy.
Did you sense at all that they were having fun, or is it just like?
boy, this is what I the whole time I was there. To me, I was like, I can't change the way the government back then, like maybe a year ago, right, year and a half ago. The way they're gonna change, the way they set up the system. It's set up. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna try to do. It's have these kids to have as much fun as they can.
Sure.
You know, at least I'm doing something.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, which I feel like whenever I was with them, with the kids, you know, we got to play volley, whatever. You know, like
Other
it was a
sports,
thing. Other
yeah.
sport. I got this girl that I was, you know, like that. She was the girl that I had to work with, like to help her out, and then she'll come to me with the ball, like, let's play. You know, she didn't speak like because they
No.
don't speak English.
Okay.
Like the way where I was, and then actually everywhere I went, majority of there's no English. I had a translator.
Oh.
Right.
But you see the enthusiasm on their
Yes.
face when she walks up with
Yes,
the ball. Like, that's
with
what
the
she
ball.
wants to do.
I was like, let's go, you know, like because I was
Yeah.
with the other kids, and it's like I'll just bring all the kids, you know. But then like there's a manager there that it goes like,
Back to skating.
we're like, oh man, which to a point the manager actually liked it because he played, right?
Oh, okay.
So he was into it.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, we're getting somewhere, right? Like kids are learning, like they're going to some events, like they're doing good. They starting. I thought like to understand what's going on, right? And but then all of a sudden, like then I had to leave, right? I wanted to come and visit my family
Sure.
for a little bit, for like a week or so or whatever before competitions. I'll fly back and then stay home for 5 days and go to an event and meet them there. And then we go back to the place, and then that fun activity we had gone.
Really?
Oh
Like,
my god.
oh man, you know. So I kind of got tired of
Yeah.
fighting it, you know.
Well, at
But at
least
lea-
you can like when at least one of the kids learns something, you could be like, yeah, give him a high five
Yes,
and get stoked.
that's-
Not be like,
Oh,
all
no.
right, like
No,
be like a hard
that
ass.
was the
like,
whole.
Right.
That
Yeah.
was the whole. Deal for me, or even Rodrigo. That's there. He was there, and who else is there now? Denny.
Who? Denny?
Denny.
Denny
No,
Fan?
not Denny. No, wait.
Oh no,
No,
freaking Danny Wainwright.
Wainwright.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
He's
Wait,
there.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we try to, to bring out to the China
Right.
skating scene. You know, of course they have the OGs there. There are OGs there. They're like, but they're like it's just so, handful of guys that are, let's say, powerful.
Yeah.
That has that connection with the government, the provinces, whatever it is. You know, Team Hero is
Oh, yeah,
judged,
Tim, yeah.
he has whatever his scene there. But it's like I understand it. They have to kind of balance it out, and now you end up going towards their regiment, and
right.
which I feel like nowadays I've seen it like through social media, the China, like WeChat, whatever, right? I see kids having more fun.
Okay.
And then you see the stoked. Then you see the sessions like they put out there, But like certain provinces have the mentality like of a regiment, like a stray, like But I think they're getting it.
I feel
we're
like
gonna see a lot.
Well,
like in the
skateboarding
future.
should be always this: is when you learn a new trick, you're happy.
Yes.
Like you're stoked.
You're
it's not
stoked.
like you learn a trick, you learn it, you're like, all right, on to the next.
But imagine
Yeah.
just being a kid and being thrust into this stuff where you don't even understand that.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't even
yeah.
understand that, like, oh, I'm supposed to be happy.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And the light just went out.
But it's cool that you could teach that to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
that's-
all the game of skate.
Because that's it. That is what it's about.
Yeah.
Those things that I like, like I literally seen like this girl just thinking all these little kids, they could do this and that. They didn't get it first. And then she's like thinking like, oh, I can do this trick and add to this. Because I never told the girl like, you should do this plus this. No.
Right.
Like, and then she start thinking like, but like before, it's like they come up to you and say, what do I do today?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's just so
where do I go?
bizarre.
foreign to
Yeah.
me.
It really
Yeah.
is.
It's
What-
Especially
what-
just for
skateboarding.
skateboarding in general.
So I feel like in a sense when I left, and then I got moved. I got moved from a province to the government, like a sports bureau of like a leisure sports of China. And then I was like, oh, maybe this is gonna, they're gonna listen to what I have to say.
Right.
Did you feel intimidated going to these things?
Not really.
No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Because they need you.
Yeah, but like the whole time, I like even though I told whatever my manager was like, hey, you're paying this amount of money for me to be here, but you're not listening. Like,
right.
like it doesn't work this way, and they're like, no.
You're like, I'm trying to put you on game on what
Yeah,
skateboarding is
yeah.
about. And
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not listening, what am I here for?
Yeah, what I'm here for, like it's just like it makes no sense.
Well, you could I guess what you could say to them, you're like, okay, you have your way, but do you want them to go to the Olympics? Because I could help a better way than what you're doing.
Oh, I've done it.
Oh, really? It's like, geez, like,
Because
think a lot
I
of-
feel like there's so many ladders to climb. Like, this guy, that guy. So they have to go through that. Like,
They're also probably taking other sports that
Yes.
that has worked for
Oh, yeah,
them
yeah.
to try to like,
Yeah.
whatever it is, baseball or,
Yes.
or
they're
hockey
definitely not good
or
at
whatever.
baseball. That's for sure.
But-
I watched something
but-
recently. I
but
was
it
like,
doesn't seem to
whoa.
be
You know, there's some good pictures out there. But
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But there's probably other sports that's worked for them.
Yeah.
To try to regiment through
yeah,
like
yeah. That's how they do it.
superstars
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like
Even
that.
from the workout program they have. The food they have. They like especially those that they have to go through the Olympics, whatever, that are qualifiers. Man, there are certain things they cannot eat.
Oh wow.
Like it's fully like sports, which to me, I'm like, man, I see all the U.S. guys or Brazilian or whatever Europeans, they go out and eat at a restaurant, like
Yeah.
they post it on like, oh, here we are, and then why cannot the Chinese skaters do the same?
Right.
So I don't know the
That just boils down to the culture and how they actually
yes,
really live.
yes, but
You-
I'm yeah.
I was just going to say this, dude. They don't even know that they have the best skate spots of all time
Right.
in
Straight-
China.
straight up.
They
Right.
have no idea. And they're making him skate somewhere and do something where they have to build it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? For I don't know. I just,
Yeah.
like the whole country is filled with
country,
amazing
yeah.
spots.
But they're great
Any
people,
cities.
Ben. Like
Yeah.
at least the people that I with it, of course the managers. I mean, they have their job to do it. But like a majority of the people that I met, like they're very like helpful. Like the translators, the people, like they're super cool.
Right.
Like, and then they maybe because I went to a province that when I started it, right, it was like a different system there.
Yeah.
But I'm sure like Shanghai, other provinces like cities have a skateboarding culture more like deep, like more like
A little more
west.
deep-rooted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I'm sure there are people out there.
Right.
Yeah.
But
So
at least they got some people down there like you and all these other people that can at least try to help. And I mean,
Yes.
there could be a lot worse people there
Oh,
that fit into
Right.
that regimen and make the kids,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at least you're there trying to play
Yeah.
ball with them and do.
Oh yeah.
you know,
So I'm thankful
enjoy
for
skateboarding.
everything that
Yeah.
I've done it like this last year.
Are you still going
2
back
years.
or no?
I have like opportunities to
Okay.
go,
Okay.
but I wanted to be here.
Yeah.
I wanted to like I said, like I went there. Before Paris, right? The last stop for park was Budapest. So Budapest was June last year.
Okay.
So I went from Budapest. I flew straight back here. Came home. They said you can take a break, and then
Thank
the
you.
provinces
I know.
are gonna, not the government, but the provinces are gonna, because it's gonna take another 3 or 4 years for 2028.
Right.
So they're gonna get in a whole like somehow. So they did. But like being home and then and then practicing for Combi and skating Hawks ramp session with all my friends, which I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break. Like I did all like almost 2 years there. Like I worked hard. I'm gonna take a break and then I'll decide the beginning of 2025.
Okay.
So I'm
Well, it's the
there.
beginning.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Wait, how
Yeah.
long were you there in that 2 years? You were there for full 2 years?
In and out. Yeah.
Okay.
But like the most I've stayed like 3 months straight,
Wow.
and then flew home for 5 days or 2 days.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
wow.
That's
You
it?
first class?
no.
No, dude.
No.
Come on.
Business.
No, not even. I had to buy my tickets to fly. Like they only buy one-way ticket, like just to the events, or one ticket a year for you to visit your family.
Wow.
That's it. And then the last two, like Shanghai and Budapest, I had to stay at a hotel. They wanted me full on camp, like where this beautiful skate park. It's a stadium, like a state of art. Like there's a park, 2 big parks, a street course, like. But I was like, man, I can't just stay at, because you have to stay at it's like a boarding school. It's like a school
Okay.
basically, and eat like their food every day, dinner, breakfast, dinner, lunch. And then I was like, hey, for me to do my work, for my sanity, to be happy, I have to stay like at a hotel.
Right.
And then I know the food at like some places are great there. Like it was hard to get used to it, but like I had to stay close to a Starbucks and a Pizza Hut. I had to.
Just the familiarity.
Yeah.
Like home.
You can find some hidden
and then
gems.
you
Yeah,
find
yeah.
like around it, but they're like, I had to sign a document, like me, whatever, link anyway, blah 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 blah
Right.
blah. I'm asking for a permission to stay. I'm gonna pay for my own food, my
okay.
own everything. And then that's submitted that to the whatever top guys, managers. They have to sign off, and then you can go.
Wow.
So wait, they didn't pay for your lodging
Not this last,
and food.
and food.
Well, to be
I ain't
fair-
going next time.
Yeah, but to be fair, but
Yeah.
it is cheaper, right? There to stay at
It is
lodging.
cheaper.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was gonna say, I do remember that.
No, I'm looking at my credit card, whatever, because I'm doing my taxes. I'm like, man, that cost it all. I like the same price as it, like Pizza Hut or
Right.
Starbucks. Like, obviously, if you go to like a local like a restaurant, like it's cheaper. It's way cheaper. Yeah.
I just remember the hotels being somewhat cheap. It was like $40 a night or something.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
that was
Yeah.
like pretty good, but the beds are really
you
hard.
stay there for a couple months.
No,
you're
I
like,
stay- I
damn,
stay-
it adds
yeah,
up
yeah.
a little
Takes a
bit,
toll,
right?
no doubt.
So, but it was fun, dude. I'm
Okay.
thankful for everything. Like,
Oh, damn.
yeah, it's a good experience. Like,
Well, dude, you've done, I mean, not only that, the Olympic stuff, but just everything. You've done a lot of stuff. And I'm glad you're okay, too, with the slam and everything. I know we've had to postpone this for a long time, but even when you DM'd me and you were like, hey, I'm starting to drive around my neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm happy I can drive.
like, dude, that was gnarly, dude. You took a hit, bro.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. I didn't think it was going to be this bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought most of the time I was like, okay, broken ribs.
Right.
They're like, yeah, the second and the fourth and the fifth on the back. I was like, okay, cool. But then all of a sudden I was like, man, what's going on with my shoulders? You know, it's like, and then like I can't move. Like I can't do this. I can't reach.
God.
I'm like, oh man. And then I see this, like it's a bone right here. I'm like, and then you go on the internet.
I could even see it.
Yeah, that's the side.
It's the
Never had that. I was like, even this one
it's
is
a
still,
collarbone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call the AC joint or something that
know.
it probably like
Separated
attached or
something.
separated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, how long is this gonna take? I was like, oh, so it's 4 to 6 weeks if it's like a level 2 or whatever. But I feel like this one is a level 4 or 5.
How are we doing though? Are you going to get back on the board soon? Or
I'm
what do
waiting
you-
because I still like if I have to do like a quick,
Right.
you know, like the reaction is not there.
Okay.
Like even riding my bicycle, like in the mornings, I'm like, there's path like that. I'm like, I'm not gonna take there. Like, how about, you know, like I
okay.
can't. But
So you're doing some physical therapy, I would imagine.
I'm doing myself.
Yeah, okay.
Like
Yeah. Okay.
since I had surgery in both shoulders, I know like all like everything.
Oh, so
I
you've
went
had
through it.
the surgeries
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. Okay, so you're
So-
you
but never like a like whatever joint thing. I never had it. This is new.
okay.
Um,
I'm sure it's a lot of the same exercises and stuff
Yeah.
to like get that situated and
yeah. So
Yeah.
then I,
Matter of
you know,
time.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to get back on my board.
I know,
skate,
dude. Yeah, man.
and I don't know, teach skating. I don't know.
Hey,
Do some-
whatever happens, dude.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right,
Yeah, I'm
dude.
happy just to be here. Make you know,
It's
have
amazing.
my wife here, live here.
Yeah,
Like
got your kid
everything.
ripping,
Got my
yeah.
kid skating. Like he's happy. You know, thankful for all the people that helped me out throughout all these years.
Life
like, you
is
know,
good,
like
bro.
sponsorship and you know, like in a way that I was just like, because with everything that's going on like nowadays
Oh yeah.
with immigration and all that stuff, you know, like
Right.
so luckily I had all the sponsors like that, like especially Hurley. When Hurley was bought by Nike, they actually applied. They've been through all the work visas, green card, all that was all through Hurley.
That's so
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
So
That's
they, in
cool.
a sense, like I know when, I got they let me go from Hurley, but
Right.
I at the time you're like, man, this sucks. Like it's been whatever 11 years, but then to think about like if you go back and it's like they didn't have to do that
Right.
for you, like
Right.
they actually helped out like Paul Gomez and Bob Hurley. Call the lawyer, we'll take care of it. I'm like, really? It's like, yes.
That's a great.
That's
I'm
super
like,
rad.
dude, that's
Call the lawyer. You know how much it cost them to do all that stuff? Probably a lot of money.
A
Straight
lot of
up,
money.
no,
Yeah.
that's not cheap at
Yeah.
all.
And then
And
you
you have
know-
to you have hookups through
Right.
corporations like
Right.
that.
Right.
Then the citizenship was myself, but like even that back there, like everything. I'm
Yeah.
very like thankful for everything that happened.
It's great, bro.
So
What about-
and the loop?
and the loop,
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the loop under your belt, man.
What about coaching your son?
coaching my son, it was never a coaching.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about like because he wants to be in the
Yes, he actually brought that up recently.
Yeah, I
like
was
how
gonna
that's gonna work. I was like, I don't know.
Mm.
Like, well, if whatever happens,
Well, it's not like when you mean the word coaching sounds so weird in that position,
it does.
but when someone needs advice
Yeah.
about what's going on around them, like you like a head judge
Yes.
style,
Yes.
like, hey, that guy's doing this and you got this.
yes,
How could you adjust? Because to help your run do like maybe score higher on this, because what it's like to judge.
Yes, that's one of the reasons that I got the job in China.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And so even no, World Skate wasn't that. The China coaching thing, but I feel like watching so many events till now, from the past until like all the progression, what's going on, how the judges are scoring it, and I feel like I can contribute to that, like I get people even at Combi, like although like I didn't like Kiko got third. I know that his run wasn't like the one he planned, whatever. I didn't see it, right? But he came up to me a few times. He was like, Lincoln, could you give me an advice, like this trick or that, this trick or that trick? What if you're judging it? Like I was like, and then I go back and it's like, okay. And so I'll tell him, like, if you do this trick, it counts better, like if you do it at the end, like those things.
Yeah.
So I think he took it like for a certain point, like, and then it became a jam, whatever, bass run, but like a jam. So he probably changed it, but like he came many times. He's like, what do you think? I was like, in my opinion, if I have to judge and then either to trick by trick and the utilize, and he was like, if I take this trick, do you think it's gonna jeopardize the? I was like, I don't think so, because you're doing some whatever here, like.
Yeah.
So I feel like in that sense, I can still, help.
There you go.
Yeah,
Like-
I think you can too. I think it'd be cool to, if your son really goes down the path of like doing the USA, Team USA stuff, I think it'd be cool to help.
He wants to do it, like, but that obviously he wanted to finish college and all that. Like, I was like, well, why are you gonna, go to San Francisco? It's like, I'm sure he like, I just want to get out of the house, right?
Yeah.
Like, but like in a sense, he was like, I think I'll be a better skater.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up skating transition. He grew up skating transition. Not later, he start skating a little bit more street, and and then bring that element to park.
Right.
And so he was like, man, there's so much to skate in SF, and then I feel like if I skate there for, I don't know, be there in that scene with another year and a half or so, like the 2 years of college there, and then when the Olympics, it's LA, and then I'll move back down and skate there somewhere. I don't know, get a place. I'm like,
There you go.
whatever you wanted to do. I'm like, if you're happy, I'm happy.
I love it, man. I love it, dude.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, bro, this has been amazing, dude.
Yes.
Lincoln Ueda.
Thank you for having me.
Bro, this
Great
is
time.
amazing, man. Kelly, we do go get him some 9 Club stuff if
What
you don't
size,
mind.
Oh, we got stuff.
Oh,
We got
yeah,
stuff.
dude.
What size t-shirt?
Got
They shrink, like depending on like a large.
Yeah, large is a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a good size.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like any other shirt, I think. It'll
Okay.
shrink a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that's amazing.
But yeah,
bro.
it's been fun. It's been great. I never planned it to be. I mean, you have the dream. You wanted to
Sure,
go
yeah.
and see for yourself California and the
Right.
US, like meet all the people that you watched
Yeah.
and you grew up watching it, got inspired by.
Yeah.
Like getting a text from Cav, like, are you gonna go skate? What are you gonna do today?
Right.
Or
So
Kevin Staub or
Go
like
skate Tony's ramp.
Yes,
Yeah,
Christian,
yeah.
and then Tony's like, hey, we're having a session, or hey, we're doing this thing. Like, are you available? This whatever.
Yeah.
So it's
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
it's a
I'm sure it's been a dream
full
come true.
full circle.
Well, because I always say too, it's like we all kind of end up in the same place,
Yes.
but everybody's journey is so different. You
Yeah.
know, it's like I grew up in Southern California. Jerron did too. Like Kelly, like you came from Brazil
Yeah.
and you had to go through this journey
This
of
journey,
like
yeah.
coming here, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I'm sure it was a fun journey,
Yeah.
but also it was like a different journey. You know,
Yeah, it and as long as like like we keep contributing to the scene,
right?
like that's one of the things that when I went to do World Skates thing, like the Olympics, I'm like, if we can bring that in and still keep it in a
Right.
way,
Right.
we don't know where it's going to go,
It's
right?
all about the kids, man.
Yeah, it's about the kids.
Kids are gonna dictate where
Yeah,
it goes.
But like at least if a little bit, if you have a foundation there that's like, hey, it's done this way, like like we
Right.
did this way,
Yeah.
or you can show the ones that are coming up, or whatever countries that are
Yeah.
like a positive way of showing skateboarding. And
You got to pass down the knowledge,
Yeah.
man. Just like we did in skate shops.
Right.
You know, hopefully this show too. Like we have a lot of OGs, a lot
Yes,
of
thank
legends
you.
on there
Thank
too.
you guys for
and we
that, like-
can,
like-
kids will watch this,
Yeah.
and learn from it.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I
Just
don't
keep
know.
pushing
We'll
it
see.
forward.
Yeah.
that's
That's right.
how it is. Like the community, it's it's small in a sense.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? We're tight.
Yeah.
Like, but you know, a good and like a positive mentality and vibe, and like it goes a long way. Like,
Totally, dude.
so that's how I feel for all the new kids that come up to me and skate and then they ask me, is like, sometimes I can't do the trick. I mean, most of the times you're like, I did that, like, you know, but you have, I mean, you know how to do, like, so, but like, I feel like the new generation, sometimes they don't have the patience to learn. They want to go straight through something to something that is really hard.
Right.
You know, and then the foundation's not there.
Yeah.
It's crazy how consistent.
Set it up to set themselves up.
Yeah. But I like but at the same time, I think, you know, we learned, like, yes, for us there was the path, like, you know, basics and to this, whatever. Maybe for them, that's where they start. Like, there's no, you know, sometimes I'm like,
there's no rules to this, obviously. Like,
right.
You know, everyone learns at their own pace, but sometimes they can hurt themselves by just going right for the best, the hardest trick.
Right.
You know,
which, you know, I've seen, like, in China, I was like, I knew a kid that he could do backside, he could do a 540, but he couldn't do an air.
Right.
I'm like, how?
That's crazy.
You
That's
know,
funny.
like I don't know. I was like, hey, let's work on the backside air. It's
Oh,
like,
dude.
then he would spend an hour or two, like, bailing it. Then he goes like, can I do a 540? I'm like,
I mean, I think
this goes right back to it.
But also, like in street skating, I think we've all seen
Yes.
those videos of the kids that can barely even push, and he's
Totally.
going in and try to kickflip a 9-stair or something.
Right.
You're like, whoa,
Well, yeah.
you can't even push up to that thing, bro. Like, let's learn some basics.
Yeah.
You know, let's learn how to push.
So that's
learn
where
how to
I feel
ollie.
like our generation, you know, like
Yeah.
even the ones that came before us, like we're here, you know, until we can, and then to help build the skateboarding in the next generation.
Yeah,
so.
man. It's all in the kids' hands, man. Wherever you want to take it, bro. Skateboarding. Listen, Lincoln,
Hey.
it's been a pleasure,
so much.
dude. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, Lincoln.
Let me give you
Thank
some
you.
9 Club
Oh,
stuff.
look at that.
Bro. I don't know. We don't have any
Thank you.
beanies.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Lincoln.
Kelly.
I know you're a beanie guy, but we got a hat for you, man. Here.
I'm actually a hat.
You had the guy?
Yeah.
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 I always see you with the helmet on.
Yeah.
There you go.
No,
There's
I
that
don't.
nice
wear
club
helmets.
hat.
Look at that.
Well, no, the last time I saw him was at Combi and stuff. So,
Yeah.
You know.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Those
also,
are nice. Those hats fit perfect. by
They're
the way.
nice,
great.
dude. I like it.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
Unless you have a big head, then they won't.
No,
work.
this is gonna feel
Perfect. Oh, we got some 9 Club stickers.
Stickers, yes.
Got some stickers for you, dude. I always say, and the offer stands to anybody who comes on our show. You get the cover of Thrasher with the sticker showing $20 photo incentive.
There you go.
Remember the
We're
photo
going-
incentives?
Yeah, we'll go back.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
$20.
$20. You gotta, if you
I
get
made
it,
a good money with a photo incentive.
See?
Like sponsorship, they hated me. They're like,
like again.
they're like, I came here with a stack, like here,
See?
because it was all magazines, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
They're
Oh,
like,
you had to submit them yourself,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Well, the same thing applies here too. You got a photocopy of the
Right.
magazine, send it to us, and we'll hand
Look
deliver
at
$20 for you.
Yeah.
Here's a nice T-shirt for you. We got the
All
9
right.
Club
Perfect.
with the 9 Club on the back,
Thank
bro.
you. That looks
Represent when you're at
beautiful.
the vert ramp. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
Also, I know you're a coffee guy.
I'm coffee.
Tea? Okay, coffee. Listen.
Or tea. I mean, I drink both.
Okay. This is the perfect
Ooh, look
Yeti.
at
I drink
that.
it all the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I drink out of it all the time. The Yeti travel mug, 20 ounces of your favorite
Love it.
hot or cold beverage. This thing will keep your
Love it.
tea or coffee hot for
This-
hours.
This one has a 9 Club
Perfect
on
temperature.
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Fits right in the center holder
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
for
yeah.
the
It's a cup holder.
Cup
Kelly.
holder.
It's a
yeah.
cup holder.
Yes.
It's a great cup holder. Cup.
Oh, you
Skull
got-
candy. Man, these are little earbuds.
Yes.
You pop them in your ear. They got a little carrying case, little charging carrying case. You could put on your belt loop or whatever. These are the Dime Evos. Thank you to Skull Candy. These are great.
All right.
Lincoln,
Thank you.
there's
Dude, I
that.
scored.
Oh wait,
Look.
we're not done yet.
Oh, we got more.
Yes.
Way more. This
Way
is the best
more.
part. This is
This
the
is
best
it.
part.
This is the cherry on the top, Lincoln.
Oh.
We got our own bolt company, man. Nuts and bolts. Okay? And I'm going to tell you
I like
something.
it.
I don't care if you're sponsored by another bolt company.
Well,
you're
no,
on our
yeah,
team.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm on
Oh,
your team.
perfect.
Hey, him
We
and
have-
his son. You and your son are on the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
wait. One day he'll come on the team. One day he'll come on the show, and he'll be on the team. But
do that,
everybody,
Kelly.
everybody that's been on our show is on the team. So we have
Okay.
the biggest team in skateboarding history. We have over 350 people on our team. Okay, whether they like it or not. Nuts and bolts. That's
Right.
for you. This is your first package.
First package. Okay. What do we get?
2 bolts a year.
It's a
2 bolts a bit.
2.
2 a year.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's gonna last forever.
Well, Lincoln, I think a lot of people abuse.
For to me.
Yeah.
It's gonna go.
See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of
It's
people
perfect.
abuse. They abuse the product.
Yes.
Bolts
So
last a long time.
if I, whatever, I don't think I'm skating any more contests, but like my sponsorship list.
Oh yeah.
All right.
9 Club nuts and bolts.
You can add it to the list.
Lincoln
Add to it.
Lincoln Ueda skating for 9 Club nuts
There
and
you
bolts.
go.
Hailing out of Guangzhou. Where are you from?
No, I'm
Guarulhos.
Guarulhos.
Guarulhos, Brazil.
Brazil.
Lincoln Ueda. What
Yes.
song would you normally skate to? If you
Man,
had to pick?
I listen to every. I mean, of course, when I was growing up, it's all punk rock.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you're gonna pick some punk.
Punk
skate
rock.
to.
Yeah, or the Metallica back, like when all the videos came out,
Oh, yeah.
whatever those.
I always remember Bob Burnquist when I first saw him in 4-1. He skated the Butthole Surfers,
Yes.
and I was like, "What? That's a crazy ass name."
Kelly's like right up my alley, man.
Yeah, but like,
Sign me up, dude.
but I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it all, like the music and stuff. Like actually, like I said, like my son, like I've been listening to a lot of things my son listens to. He goes all to these shows. He's like, Dad, listen to this. I'm like, no. He's like, how about this one? It's like, oh, that I can do that.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, okay.
Some
So-
of them it just throws you off. You're like, what is
Yeah,
this?
yeah. But like, I'm like, yeah, so many like even country that back in the day, like I don't know, 2 years ago,
wow.
he came home and then he started playing his guitar. I'm like, what's that song? It's like, oh, it's this guy. It's a country song. And I was like,
Garth Brooks or whatever.
no.
It was a newer age country guy.
You got
Yeah.
Spurs, that jingle, jangle. I don't
So
know.
I was like, I'm listening to him. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, so like,
There you go. So you're down for anything.
I'm down for
Okay,
anything.
whatever it is,
Yeah, I'm
contest. We'll
easy.
put it up. We'll put you on whatever the DJ wants.
Okay, yeah,
We'll put on random shuffle.
Yes.
Lincoln Ueda, thank you so much.
Thank you
dude.
guys.
Yes.
Thank you for everything. Thanks for having me.
Of course,
Thanks
bro.
for having this show. Like,
Thank you.
To tell the story, like, you know, the history of skateboarding, like the new guys, old guys. Like I watched Pat. Like yes,
Ngoho,
like
yeah,
Ngoho, and then like I didn't know anything about the manual
Yeah.
or those like the little whatever hop out fakie to hop out to roll back in. I was like, I have no idea. I had
Dude,
no
the cop
clue.
out fakie to roll back in is
Dude, that's
psycho.
hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. I'm like, oof.
It's fun because you do. I mean, we have so much fun here
Yeah.
listening to everybody's stories, but you learn those little nuances
Yeah,
about
yeah.
people that maybe you didn't even know.
Yeah.
Like Pat Ngoho was a little bit before my time.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of these people we have on the show, and you're just like, wow, these little tidbits, man. It's
Yeah.
so fascinating. Like,
Yeah.
especially I'm loving like the older guys right now. We had Steve Olsen
Uh-huh.
and Sal.
I gotta watch that one. I
Oh,
haven't-
it's great.
It's a good
Yeah.
But
one.
there's so many things that these guys have so many stories to tell.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think we could get through everything on our show
Yeah,
even
yeah.
throughout the years. Like there's so much
Yeah.
skateboard history.
It's fun to watch.
Oh,
you know,
thank
the group of people that you guys have, like going through the past, like, you know, and to now, like it's I watched and then I'm like, ooh, and then I pause and I have to do something and then I go back to it. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
You know, so that's cool.
I'm glad you have a good
Like-
time because we have the best
Yeah.
time here listening
we
to
have-
stories,
yeah.
especially yours, dude.
Yeah, thank you for having me again.
Thank you,
Yes.
man. Lincoln
It worked out.
Ueda.
It worked out
It
because
did.
it was
Oh, yeah.
for a little bit. It was like yes, no, yes, with the fire too.
Oh,
like
dude,
we
the
actually
fire. Yeah, I forgot about that.
By the way, like how's your
Everything's
family going?
good,
Yeah, 'cause
family's good,
yeah.
but the house is burnt down. So we're in the
Yes, I
process
saw
now
that. Mm-hmm.
of like figuring it all out and dealing with insurance and
Yes.
stuff like that. So
Dude.
we're getting through it,
Right,
You know,
right.
and time to rebuild.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
move forward.
Yeah. So,
But thank you, bro.
but yeah, thank you again.
Yes,
Thanks,
Lincoln
Lincoln.
Ueda.
Enjoy it.
yeah.
Boom. There we go.
Nice, dude.
All right, whoa, dude.
Solid.